All right, everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Jay Banks. Tuesday, you know what time it is. What's cracking, AI?
Hey, what up? I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, man.
Feeling good. Feeling great.
good.
How are you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about this one, man.
It's a big one, man. It's a big one.
I've been wanting to scream at the top of my lungs since
Right.
this guy called me.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things, man, where you know, we're in the middle of it, bro. We're trying to print as much merch as we can, and right now, Angel and I are in that mode where we're trying to get outside work, where you know, other companies and businesses want to come to us to print the merch because Monday through Fridays have been slow down here. So it's like let's pivot and let's try to figure out how to turn this place into like a workhorse.
Yeah.
Even though we're slow, and so I got a call. Actually, the first call was from National Screen Printing. It was Vince, right?
Vince. Yep.
Yeah.
From
so
R&R/National Screen Printing.
yeah. So he called us up and said, "Hey, man, I've got something for you. There's this new comedian named Matt Rife who's got a movie coming out in 2024, and they need some merch made, and it's too intricate for us, so we wanted to see if you'd be able to do it." And I was like, "Yes." 100%. I don't care what it is. I don't care how many shirts it is. I don't care how long it's going to take.
Yeah.
Answers yes. I'll figure out the problems later.
Yeah. Because they need it on DTG, and normally they're doing stuff on screen printing. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And the difference between DTG and silk screening, obviously, DTG is a direct-to-garment printer, so it pulls the T-shirt through the printer and actually prints right on top of it. That's how we're able to get 16 million colors, like this like primetime T-shirt that I got right here.
Yeah, yours looks. Yeah, mine doesn't have as many colors, but this was also on the DTG as well.
Yeah, so so that's the difference between the two. So so when I got a chance to talk to Jack, you said you already knew about the brand, bro, which
Yes, I did.
blew my mind.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, we talked.
No, I've
yeah.
been following Native for many years. You know, I love the name. I mean, you know, and just to explore, like, I looked up where Native was based, and it was in Ohio and in Cincinnati at that, and you know, northern Kentucky, and that's my hometown. So,
Yeah, bro.
you know, hey, I'm a native Cincinnati cat as well. So I want to thank you for inviting me down and you know, partnering with us as well as the whole Private Eye team.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to be a part of it, bro. And
yeah.
the jacket is absolutely fire, dude.
Hey, gotta give it up for Pepe Ramundos. You know, I got this for my good friend Carmen. So you know, definitely if you're looking for a nice fit, definitely check out Pepe's.
Pepe, dude, they do the best suits, man. They're all custom tailored. Like everything
yeah.
they do is super fire. They lace up a buddy of mine, Gary Faulkner, a lot. He's the bearded guy that's
Yep.
always at the Bengals games.
100%.
Yeah,
Yep,
he always
yep.
goes there for the suit jackets.
I know why. I know why. For
Dude,
real.
and everything about like the black lapels, like and how they shoot out at the top, that's just so classy, bro.
Oh.
Like that style lapel I love, and I like the oversized lapels without the double vest. It's got to be a
100%.
single vest. But
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they went all out on this sucker. You know, I walk in there and I'm like, hey, Pepe. You know, I was like, hey, Carmen. You know, I want to look Hollywood, and you know, we both looked in one direction. Boom.
Yeah.
Saw this, and we're like, all right, that's Hollywood.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
definitely
bro.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
So let's bring it back to the roots, man. So
Okay.
you're from Cincinnati, right?
That's right. I'm from a small town called Glendale. It's right
Hey.
north of the city, and you know, I'm so happy to be able to work. We've actually brought work back to Cincinnati, and we're going to film a movie. It's going to be in Cincinnati, and Kentucky is the main state. We're actually filming in this state that we're in right now. We were blessed with the Kentucky tax incentive for the next movie, so I'm really excited to start that one up.
Yeah, man. Dude, Kentucky and Ohio, man, they're really kind of killing it when it comes to the movie industries. You know, I know James Franco was here a couple of years ago, and he was able to do 2 movies for the price of one in L.A. So he
Yeah.
was here filming 2 movies at the same time.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
and-
and it's the tax incentives, you know, like that's, you know, when you've got states that are offering 30%, 35% tax incentive, of course, filmmakers are going to look into that. And now Cincinnati, you know, thanks to Doris Owens and, you know, Nancy Carlini and Christian Slotman, you know, and much more, Amy Majerski, the infrastructure for film is here. So we have some of the best filmmakers that we can offer right now. Like, you know, the path was paved already. So I come in and, you know, it's kind of set up perfectly for a filmmaker coming
For sure.
back to Cincinnati and northern Kentucky.
Absolutely, man. And you being from here and then moving out to LA, like, when you were here, it was you were a musician, right? Like,
Yeah.
I even read that you're good on the harmonica.
Yeah, well, I've gotten a few roles as the harmonica. In my band, we have a harmonica player, so he's much better than I am. But I've gotten a few roles. Like, I started off as an actor, and when I moved to Los Angeles, and I did a movie called Nina. It was about Nina Simone, and I was
Oh yeah.
yeah, I was her harmonica player. Zoe Saldana played Nina, and I'm not sure whatever happened to that movie. It was some controversy. But anyway, I've gotten a few roles playing the harmonica. The musician, that's something very beautiful that you brought up is actors, they go out to L.A. and New York, and they just want to be actors.
Right.
And a lot of times how you make your break is your special qualities, your special skills. So, now I'm in the director's seat. So, if I'm trying to hire a military guy, I want somebody who is in the military kind of thing.
For sure.
So, music was always in my roots. So anytime there was a music role, etc. And at the time I had long hair like you.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I'd get a lot of music rock star roles when I was in LA.
Are you gonna grow the hair back out?
I don't know. I was thinking, the reason why I cut it was not style wise. I love long hair, and I loved the way I looked, and it was just too much combing for me, honestly.
Bro, it's
Yeah.
scary, man. Like when I take a shower, bro, I lose so much hair that I'm like, I've got cancer, bro. Like
Yeah.
that's the only thing. But it's like every morning it's like a rat's nest, dude.
That's what I'm saying. And now that I cut it, my routines take 5 minutes compared to 30.
Yeah.
Getting
yeah.
ready and everything. So I don't know if not yet. It's not on my mind yet.
Yeah,
to
no,
grow
you
it.
got to do the clean cut for a while, man. Dude, I woke up last week and I had the left side and the right side of my hair tied in a knot somehow behind my head, and I looked like He-Man.
Yeah.
Like I looked like I had like that little like
Yeah.
what do you call that? Not a bonnet, but like one of those fucking terrible haircut, bro.
Yeah, it dreads up so quick.
Yeah, and it's crazy, and it's like I remember I showed Andrew like 2 months ago. And he was like, "Do you comb your hair?" I'm like, "Bro, I comb my hair all the time." Like, I have no idea how like it just ends up tying, and it's like like it's just tied over, and it's like a little kid literally was just tying knots in my hair, and like I don't get it, bro.
And it's a pain in the ass to get out.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and then you're losing your hair, and then like I said, it's like I've got cancer, bro. Like, like I'm losing too much hair. But I've got a plan, right? So like I'm going through this mad scientist. I go through these mad scientist phases, like when I'm back in the lab, like I don't cut my shit and I just let it grow. But I'm thinking like maybe a year from now, I'm gonna go clean cut it off, clean shave it, and then my wife can just be like, yeah,
finally.
You know what I mean? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
My wife, man, she loves the beard and everything. She's into that hippie stuff, I guess, or the mountain man, and she always trying to get me to grow it back out, and I'm just like, man, not right now. It's too easy to take care of.
Yeah,
I don't got time. I don't have time.
Right. Yeah, my wife's the same way, bro. She's like, I love it with the beard, and then the hair's growing out. She's like, I love it with the long hair. I'm like. Tell me you want something different, because I want you to say something different.
Right,
Grass is always greener. That's what
exactly. When you get there, they want you to go back.
Hey, this might get us in trouble with this comment, but hey, women can't make up their mind. Uh-oh. I'm getting a call from my wife right now. What did you say?
Right. I heard what you said.
I love you, Rose.
That's fine.
So she's here with you as well, right?
Yeah. I've got 2 kids, and that's something that I definitely wanted to. I've met so many artists out there. Because like if you want to be an artist and you don't know anybody in the business, man, you got to knock down some doors. And I've met so many people that use their family as excuses to get out of the game, and I made sure, like, I want to have a family. I want to have 2 kids, and this, that, and the other thing. And I was like,
white picket fence, the whole nine. Yeah.
But I'm still gonna make movies. I'm not just gonna switch up what my goals are. And don't get me wrong. I know what the sacrifice was, and I thank God that my family was there to struggle with me when the struggle was going. But now that it's all cleared out and everything's starting to work out, like I'm like telling a few people I told you so.
Yeah, it's always darkest before the dawn, bro.
100%.
And that's 100%. The thing. It's like everything we do, man. It's like as artists, right? Like especially when it comes to something as big as making a movie, there's a lot of shit on the line, bro. There's investors' monies, there's actors, there's everyone's depending on your idea, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like for at least for us, it's like it's minuscule, right? You know what I mean? But for somebody like you, like there's so much on the plate. It's like it's got to be overwhelming at a time, but then so relieving at the end of it when it's like, hey, like my job's done. Now it's in production now.
Yeah, well said, and that is the truth, you know. And it's so there's so many moving parts, and so much can go wrong that you know, even for the next one, it gets scary because you're like, I'm gonna have to do that all again. You know, but that's the point. I think it's so hard, and I'm glad it's so hard because it weeds out the people that don't really want to do it. Because you know, the people that do it, they have in their mind there's only one way out, and that's winning. You know,
100%.
I'm surrounded by the Army, and the only way I can win is, you know, beat it. Like I'm not. I went too far. You know.
No turning back.
No
bro.
turning back at this point. It'd take longer to go backwards than forward where I'm at.
I feel the same way, bro.
Yeah.
I feel the exact same way, man. And this, and you know, when it comes to let's say you wrote this movie 10 years ago. You told us, right?
Yeah. No, you know, I wrote it originally. Believe it or not, you know, like I said, I was an actor, and I wanted to. I'm in Hollywood, and I'm getting all these auditions. I get an agent, and you know, but it's all auditions that for roles that I don't necessarily, I'm not in love with. It's like for the guy who says, "Hey, where's the party at?"
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And I'm like, man, I spent so much energy and time. I didn't come out here just to say those 3 words. So I was like, well, I'm gonna write this for me to act in.
And that's why I was going to ask if
Yeah.
like you thought of yourself as a main role.
100%. And you know, even as a writer, I mean, you're every character. I mean, if you're the writer, you know, you're you know, male, female, it doesn't matter. Like
You're jumping
this
in that
comes
body.
from your you know, your mind. And I was at the time I was writing this movie with Patrick Rowe. It was like a gangster big budget movie, and we get like 60 pages in, and I was like, man, this is going to take like $10 million to, you know, $20 million to film. So what I did is I started going back to the drawing boards, and I watched this interview with James Cameron, and how he wrote The Terminator, the original script. He wrote that in 7 days.
What?
And another cool fact about that, he actually...
And it's all coming true.
Oh, and he sold, yeah. Oh, and
Right.
all AI, yeah. Everything James said is, you know, it's happening. But he actually sold that to Paramount for $1 so he could direct it. I don't know. That's a cool story. Like he sold the script to Paramount for $1, but the rule was like, hey, I'll sell it to you for $1 if you let me direct.
Right.
But anyway, I was watching an interview, and he said he wrote it in 7 days. So I was like, man, I'm gonna beat James Cameron, and I'm gonna write this new script faster.
Yeah.
And you know, I think you have to have these, dare I say, like naive, big dream thoughts to even be able to do a smaller movie. You gotta think you're doing something huge, because of if you think on a small time level, you're gonna get discouraged real quick.
You're gonna get small time results.
Oh, and so you know, I'm comparing myself with James Cameron here, but I was so I locked myself in my house for 4 days, and it was like 12 to 16-hour days. My wife tells hilarious stories about these 4 days, because like she'll be asking me stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, you know, oh yeah, I'll take some food, and don't even touch the food. Just, you know, mad scientist, like you're saying.
Yeah.
I was going crazy in this room, and I got the first draft in 4 days, and then you know, you think that, oh, that's it, that was easy. Nah, you know, then Patrick Rowe came in, and you know, he took another few months to develop it. But after the script was finished, which the first, you know, I guess you could say like the draft that I thought I was going to film, after that, you know, I thought, oh, I'm going to be the lead actor. So I go in, start working with these producers, and they're like, hey, you're not going to be the lead actor. We need somebody famous. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? So anyway,
This guy looks like me.
Yeah. Right. And I was just like, damn. All right. And I definitely wanted to direct. I think so. When I was 18, I moved to New York City, and I studied at this school academy called the New Actors Workshop, and the main teachers were George Morrison and Mike Nichols. And I studied, and Mike Nichols, you know, he's got a EGOT, you know, Grammy, Emmy, Oscar, Tony. He's like one of the best of the best, and I secretly think he was, you know, like not secretly, it's just, you know, he's a director.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he wasn't a famous actor. He was a very well-known director, and I think I learned a lot about the stylized directing from him. So it gave me the courage to be like, well, I think I could do this.
Yeah.
Not thinking how hard it could be. And so I was like, I'll direct it. We can get somebody else famous. And at that point, it was we were all trying to get like $20 million and hire some real famous movie stars. And
you got one somehow.
Well, that was so that's different. So
I know, bro.
So just to clarify, what happened is we have a saying at Illusion Islands, and I learned it. I heard it first from
which is your production company.
Yeah, Illusion Islands is our production company. I started it with Elliot Hebler, who's actually from Coleraine. He went to LaSalle.
Awesome,
I actually met him in L.A. on set, and
holy cow!
He turns out he was from Cincinnati, and
boys right away.
Yeah, 15 minutes away, and then the first time I heard this quote though was from another producing partner named Hope AHHHH, but it was work horizontal, not vertically, and that changed my life. A lot of people chase dreams, and in my mind, a lot of low-quality films, they work vertical, not horizontal. So what that means is a movie, what is a movie? What gets people to the theater? So a lot of times the main thing is who's in it, and,
for sure.
and of course quality, but who's in it and who made it. So the lead actor at this is a independent film with a lower budget, and it's a passion project, and we used a lot of favors. And what you do with a low budget movie is you can't hire somebody for $5 million to be your lead actor,
right?
And what you do is you find the best actor for the lead, the best possible that you've met, and the person you think fits the role perfectly, and then you get popular actors in your supporting cast, and that because the supporting cast, this guy might only be here for 6 hours,
right?
Or or one day,
yeah.
But the lead actor, we're doing 3 weeks of rehearsal,
14 hours a day, yeah.
and for sometimes 60 days. So it's so what we did is we worked horizontal, and that's where we actually we came in to cast Matt, and it was more of a partnership, really. There was many people that used all their favors to get us to a point. And Matt was one of them. Matt helped cast several actors, and he brings in so much ideas and creative through the creative process. Hope AHHHH casted several amazing actors, Elliot Hebler and Alex Kakaneris. Basically, we just used all the favors that we could to make something magical. And in the end of the day, we got lucky. But there's a quote I love saying, like, "What is luck?" And a lot of times it's preparation and timing.
Yes.
For example, when we first started working with Matt on The Private Eye, he wasn't the superstar he was today, and he was just, he's just always had it. When somebody's a star, it's like, you just know it. It's not necessarily what they've done, because he's so young relatively that but he's been working for so long, but he has it, and there's several other actors I've worked with that just have had it, and every time they all blown up, and they're all the same. They're all, Matt's work ethic is par to none. But years before we filmed The Private Eye, I directed this pilot, never got picked up. It was called Shootouts. It's where I met our mutual friend Chip the Rip, King Chip. Big shout out to him, and he was an actor in the movie. And we casted as our lead actress this woman named KJ Smith, phenomenal actress. At the time, her biggest roles that she did before that was like 3 episodes of Queen Sugar, but she just had the look, the attitude, and that we were going for this role, so we cast her. But she was very similar to Matt Rife, where she was always working, to perfect their art and whatever it was. And right after we filmed with her on Shootouts, she booked the lead role in Tyler Perry Medea's funeral.
Oh, shit.
And now she's the lead actress on Sisters. So casting is 98% of a movie a lot of times.
I mean, you know what it sounds like to me, man. It sounds like you're just looking at the actors in a different light, right? Like you've got actors that want to, or you got directors that want to get the people that have already made it, right? And but it's a lot harder to bet on the long shot horse, like we were talking about earlier. But the payout is a lot stronger, right? Because there's 2 things, man. One, for the fact that Matt Rife like started throwing ideas your way and saying we should do this, we can do that. That just shows a testament to how good the script is,
Yeah,
right? Because not only is he hyped about it, now he's trying to get people that he knows to get involved with it.
Put his name out there.
Yeah. So he's co-signing the script before the movie's even made, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then you've got, where was I going with the other one?
Because you were saying like going for the more expensive
Oh,
cost compared to an up and coming, if you will. So when that's a little cheaper, but that might pop off, if you will, like the tipping point.
Yeah. So somebody like what? Thank you, bro. So what you're doing is like you're looking at where's this person going to be in 10 years? Like I see so much in this person, and I feel like you do the same for us. Like when I don't feel like the native brand is on this high pedestal yet. I still feel like I'm in the minors waiting to get called up. So when somebody like you comes in and says, bro, I love the brand, I've been following it, and I want you to run with these clothes because that's the type of vibe that we're going for.
Yep.
It means a lot to me because it's like, I've got my blinders on, bro. I'm in here, 6 days, 5 days a week, just printing merch, and then Saturday and Sunday it all flies out of here. So it's like I'm in like this weekly routine of just knocking it out. So when all of a sudden I get a phone call from you, it's like I've got my head to the ground, and it's like all this is working, right? It's like even though I don't feel like the longevity is right there in front of me, it is because it's obviously it's showing, man. So
yeah, and that's how the universe works. To finish that quote on luck, it's preparation and timing. And it's all about being the most prepared, and the universe works with the timing part, and that is where it's at. But the thing is there's very few people that actually do it. So there's something very important in that message. There's very few people that actually do it. There's a lot of people, because most people are afraid of all the risks in the world. And I think if you do want to be successful, you don't want to spread yourself out too thin. I personally like putting a lot of chips in very few baskets,
right,
because then you can control the quality.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know money buys quality a lot, but when you don't have the money, it takes a little more. And something way more important than money is time and energy. And you're doing that, and I respect that. I love the logo, the name, everything.
My man.
But this is just the beginning for a lot of things, including us. But I see a big future.
Yeah, bro, I'm here for it, man. So there's a quote that I wanted to share, bro. It was Jay-Z in the beginning of the Blueprint. He did this DVD. It was a live version, and he talks about luck. And it was like it was one of the most like. It struck with me and it stuck with me, right? Like he said, a wise man once told me luck is some mystical energy that dances around the universe, randomly bestowing people satisfactions and joy. But I believe that you create your own luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something like that is
I believe that too, yeah.
And like I said, what you're doing is you're putting your eggs in baskets that the money's not there, but the will and the drive is, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, was there a bunch of actors that you wanted to get in this, or like how did
100%.
Matt Rife even come into the equation?
That was 8 years in, okay?
Yeah.
Like, and just to get back to the story. So
this guy's like, I want Seth Rogen in here.
Well, I guess to. I guess we'll just reveal the names because it happened. We were going for, at one time, we were trying to raise like $20 million, and we were thinking about David Duchovny and Julia Roberts, and that was actually the first two people we were thinking about casting, and I'm talking about, man, we were like. That'd be a different crowd, bro. That's crazy. 100%. And everything's meant to be for a reason. I'm glad it. At the time you put so much energy. This is perfect. You wish it would happen, and it's like nope. And I learned something very important with this part of the process. I think any great film should spend years in development. And
Yeah.
you know, I know people don't like hearing that because most people are all money oriented. Like they're like, oh, we need
Got to get the ROI.
got to get it done. We got to make this money back. No, but like where I come from with that statement is, I want to make something good. And movies, you know, like we said, I don't know if we talked about it yet, but I'm a musician as well, and I started off as one. And it's a lot different writing a 3-minute song than writing an hour and a half to 2 hour long movie. And it just takes a different type of animal. And really what it is persistent patience. You know, you got to be patient as heck. It does not happen overnight, but you got to be persistent. You can't just wait for it.
For sure. Are you do you like reading a lot? You know what I mean? Because that's something like I don't read at all, but I would love to write a script. I feel like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, when I first started, I used to hate reading. I used to hate it, and I always had a quote: "I'd rather write the book than read." And honestly, I'm against that now. I actually love reading. I think reading keeps your mind on point.
It's a lost art.
You know, it's a lost art, but it's also, I think the reason why I like it most is it really lets go and you can utilize your imagination, which is the most important thing for manifestation. And it's just like a muscle. You know, if you don't work out, guess what? You ain't going to get fit. You know what I mean? And if you don't work out your mind, it ain't going to get fit, you know? And reading, it just is getting all these people's other opinions, you know? And I like reading, my brother hates self-help books, but I actually like self-help books like 48 Laws of Power, Rich Dad, Poor Dad was very interesting. There's another book, Think and Grow Rich, that is very interesting. Art of War is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But the other books, like the story books, are awesome too because you create the movie.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if you read, like
Right.
if you're getting shown images, that you're following the director's story. You're following the actor's story. When you're reading, that's your story. Even though somebody else wrote it, the thoughts and the pictures that are going in your head are made by you. So I think it's very important to read, where I used to never read. So it's funny you say that. And I've read millions of scripts, though, but that's different than a book. I'll tell you that right
For
now.
sure.
Yeah.
So I just lost my train of thought again, man.
I was going to say something on reading. Have you ever read The Tipping Point?
No, I've heard about it.
It's a really good one.
Can't wait to read it.
Check that one out. That's a good one. We'll talk about books that are worth a read. But
Tipping Point.
The Tipping Point. It's basically explains that there's 3 different people. It takes 3 people to create like a natural viralness of any product.
Okay.
It takes a servant. It takes a connector, and then it takes a salesman. And those 3 different people combined is how something goes viral, creates buzz enough to become like a regular household name.
I like that.
Yeah, it's a great read.
I totally understand that.
Dude, for sure. But I will say the reading that keeps your muscle going, I kind of like subscribe to that also in the sense of if you start something creatively, it's best in your best interest to even continue throwing stuff at like a storyboard or a brainstorming chart, because like the more you creative breeds creative. So like as you continue to work that muscle can work even if you're not reading material by someone else, as long as you're
100%.
keeping in your like lane and you're basically compiling on what you've already done. And I think reading works that muscle just like creating the creative. Like as long as you're in that lane and you stay in there and you kind of just like keep trucking along, I think the creativeness you'll train yourself to get better. And 100%. It comes out of nowhere. It's pretty amazing.
And on top of that, not only the routine and becoming better, another thing is that the final answer, a lot of times you won't even know what the final answer is until you do it and fail.
Yeah.
And then you're like, damn, I could have done it this way.
Yes.
But you would have never saw that unless you took that first, journey, and you're like, oh, damn. This makes more sense. I understand it now.
Trimming the fat is what we usually call that. Trimming the fat. Literally, like you have this whole product, and at the end of it, you realize like this fat sitting on the ground, and you have this solid meat that's ready to be taken to the grill and whenever it's time to like. But
100%.
like taking that time takes a lot. It takes years of experience to get to the final product. I mean, people don't pay you for 15 minutes of experience. They pay you for doing a thing for 10 years plus.
Yeah.
And then that's what dictates the cost.
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm paying this guy $300 for every hour, but it's not because he can do it for any better than other professionals, but it took him 30 years to learn how to do that
Yes,
in 30 minutes,
Exactly, in his own way, in his own form, like, because we deal with artistic ways, so like artists do things differently. Everyone's different, so to get his type of style, his kind of vibe, it took all this time for him to create that and learn the art in general. All that time is what you like. That's straight will. That's human. It's human power. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, and that's what you're paying for, and that's what you're getting with quality. And like we were saying, like the directors and that you're getting like these high quality stuff that takes time, and you said it should take a long time. You shouldn't rush it. Like you said, 7 days, and then you did 4 days, and just that time is just that's the panic room. And once you get the panic room done, then it's time to clean up.
Yep.
And the cleanup takes a long time.
Oh, cutting
the mess
the
takes
fat.
this much time.
Oh, yeah.
To make. You make the mess. The bull goes to the china shop real quick, but getting the pieces put back together to make something beautiful again, that's where it takes time.
Andrew, that was so well said. 100%. 100%. And even with this movie, I think the original, the director's cut was like 2 hours and 20 minutes. And talk about trimming fat. We cut it back down to like 153 for the total runtime.
And how does that feel, bro? Because there's so many parts in there that like you're like, I can't get rid of that because now it's not going to make sense. And you're like, bro, like we got to. Like it happens in every movie. Every movie's got to be broken down to 90 minutes, 93 minutes, 95 minutes.
It's a skill. It's a skill to be able to watch the movie as a first-time audience. When you're so close to the, cutting room and everything, when you're so in it, like, because you want to keep everything. You understand why, but watching it as a first-time audience is a skill, and being, all right, this part is boring, or all right, this is unnecessary. I think the biggest way to cut it is it necessary on pushing the story? Like, all right, does that next scene, is it necessary for moving the story on? And The Private Eye, we haven't talked about it yet, but the main genre is a mystery. So there's so many components that a first-time viewer, when they first watch it, that I've had screenings and I've shown some people high in the industry, just because it's important to get people's views that are, from the industry that are doing way better than you are.
Oh, yeah.
And they've done something right. So getting their opinions is very helpful, even if you don't take it. You can understand. And, but it's one of those movies where the first time you watch it in the beginning, you will be confused. And you'll be like, what in the world is going on? And then, once the reveal happens, you'll be like, damn, I got to watch this again.
Yeah.
And I really, that was one of the goals of making the movie, was like, how directorially, how do I do that without giving it all away, but just giving enough away to where it makes sense as a reveal.
Right.
Breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
I mean that's genius too, man. There's only a couple movies that like I can recall that I needed to watch it twice, right? And like obviously one of them was I See Dead People. What was it?
That's
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. Yeah, like that. Like,
oh yeah.
I was so mad at the end of that movie because I'm like, how did I not realize that spoiler alert, Bruce Willis was dead the entire movie?
Yeah. And,
and so now it's like I've got to watch it again because there's no way. Like he was talking with his wife, he was at dinner, and then you watch it again, you're like, fuck.
And the
she didn't look at him at all.
Yeah, and the second time that you watch the movie, you see everybody else's side of the story. And one of my favorite things is the kid. Like, he's so scared when he meets Bruce Willis. And most people are like, oh, that's how kids are. Nah, it's because he's a ghost.
Yeah. And that's how kids are, because kids see ghosts.
Yeah, and I related to that movie a lot, and I referenced it a lot when filming The Private Eye.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big, definitely helpful.
Yeah, that movie, Sixth Sense, the one scene when she like she's under the bed and she puts out because
the box,
the pine saw killed.
Oh, yep.
That scene, that one always got
me. VHS tape.
Yeah, that always got me. That movie was.
It was sad. Well, and that you brought up another good thing. I think something about great movies is they're every genre. Like somebody was trying, I think it was the production. We were trying to pick what genres to market, and the production was having such a hard time on picking one. And I'm like, guys, that's because the way you make what I believe all great movies have every genre. Look at Forrest Gump. There's times you laugh, there's times you cry. Sixth Sense is it's scary, but it's also a drama. It makes you cry. Suspense, mystery. So I think all great movies have many genres. If you're one note, it gets boring.
Exactly.
Bro, I'm still blown away about the David Duchovny, Julia Roberts, and then swapping over to Eric Roberts, and you know what I mean. Like, but let me think about it, bro. Like, if you would have spent $20 million on David Duchovny and Julia Roberts, it would have been a good movie. It would have been a movie for 40 plus. Yeah. You know what I mean? But what you did was you basically put all your chips in on black and said, let's go with Matt Rife. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And it didn't happen like that. We'll continue the story then. Let's we're at the
part 3.
Part 3. So we're at the time where we're like trying to raise 20 million and get these actors involved, which would have been a great cast. I love both of those actors, and I understand what you're saying with their audiences, etc. But we continue to go, and then I meet so many investors. One of the biggest thing for any movie is raising the budget. And raising the budget, and so we're trying to raise this money for this movie, and I meet a bunch of investors. Every investor I talk to is like, well, look, a neo-noir drama or whatever won't you won't make that much money off the box office, this, that, and the other thing, so we don't want to spend high money in that budget. We're looking for horror films. So then
horror films.
Horror films, they make a good horror films do really well, even if it's low budget a lot of time, because the audience is just like, I don't know if you've heard of Horror Hound, awesome Cincinnati venue. HorrorCon. So horror films and comic book movies, they have built-in audiences. Comic Cons and horror cons. You got people that just love horror. Like,
even if it's bad.
The badder the better.
It's almost cheesier the better.
And
there's cult films that are like so bad. You're like, how does this? But it's off the charts.
In the last year, there's been 3 like low-budget horror films that have blown up. Like last Halloween, Terrifier 2 came out. I don't know if you guys know about that Terrifier franchise. Phenomenal. Check it out. The Terrifier 1 was, they made it for like $35K, but it's so good. And I think, I'm glad we brought this up, because The Private Eye is very much to me like John Carpenter's first Halloween, or like, when the director had very little budget and but somehow
dreaming
pulled
big.
it off. And it reminds me of that type of scenario. For a while it was up to 20. But anyway, we switched focus, and I wrote this horror film. My wife is a writer. She's got a book out called Scary Things Are Real. She's had many like ghost experiences.
Oh, we're going to get her on the podcast.
Oh, she'd love to. I mean, just don't do it at night. You never know. You might might turn up.
We actually want to do a conspiracy theory podcast, like scary stories, ghost stories,
awesome.
all that.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh, it's in the works. We're gonna make it happen.
Oh, so we wrote this badass script. That's the one we're filming in Kentucky, actually. The horror film we made. It's about a witch. Very awesome witchcraft. It's actually been that one took. That one we're already in like 6 years, 7 years on that one too. So the development's there. But anyway, we switched focus, because I think it's very important to be like fluid, like water in scenarios.
Yes.
If you're stiff, like this is the only way it can happen. This is the only it'll never grow like that. You have to be very fluid. Like, oh well, let's experience, let's play, let's it's science. Sometimes the best things have not happened yet. We don't even know how to. We can't even fathom it. We can't think about it. It's like AI.
I heard something the other day that in the 80s, the Trademark and Patent Office, or it might have been earlier than that, they pretty much said everything has already been made.
Yeah.
Like the Trademark and Patent Office was like, there's nothing new on the table.
The next day, they're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, AI's here. Internet's here. Shit.
Yeah. No,
all right, that opened up.
They probably see so many of the same submissions.
Yeah,
I bet.
Never say never.
Right. Never say never.
Never say never.
Exactly. I mean, Eventually, they made the Huggy.
No, exactly.
They made they made blankets better.
Yeah, they had. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It is
never
what it is.
thought you could. You never
Yeah.
thought you could.
Right.
But you know, with the movie, I mean, we were very fluid. So we started working on this, raising money for this horror film, and then we got the budget lined up. And guess what happened? 2020 happened, and it shut down our production. Our investor backed out for the horror film. So we were like, Illusion Islands was going through some sort of momentum at that time where we were getting hired to make feature films. I actually came on to co-direct some, and you know, I produced at least 2 to 3 before. But I think that's a very important thing, is you know, because you go to somebody with an idea. I go to these investors. I'm like, hey, I want to make a movie. They're like, yeah, what have you made? And I'm like, well, nothing. So you know, so it's like what the fuck.
Right,
so
yeah.
I started up and
Right.
you know, refocus where I'm gonna go, and what I did is I'm like, man, I need to get my name on some projects that I directed. So I fought so hard to co-direct some roles, and I got some opportunities. But the beautiful thing that happened with that was I was able to raise enough money. So 2020 happened. A lot of my I had like 3 projects lined up, the biggest budget projects I've ever, you know, worked on, and they all 3 of them, all of them left, and I knew enough smaller investors. Like, I had people that in my corner that believed in me. You know, not
That's
smaller
awesome.
investors.
That's
They're not.
awesome.
These are the biggest and best
Yeah.
investors. I'm gonna make sure they make so much money that they just keep on wanting to invest. You know, because that's another thing with the quality of product. I want to make sure that we make movies that, you know, not only benefit us like clout wise, but it's like, hey, we can keep on. You know, we
You
make
gotta double down, bro.
we make money to make more movies. We don't make movies to make money.
Right.
You know, and that's like the whole saying, like, you know, that what we're trying to do. So anyway, I had enough people, and I'm like, hey, why not bring the private eye out of the, you know, out of the vault, and you know, and I was watching. I was working on a project, and I was in the editing booth, and Matt Rife was in the movie as a supporting role, and it was awesome because like his acting was so good that not only was I like, dang, this guy's good, but I would also have people come into the editing booth and be like, who is this guy? You know, I love this actor. Who is this? Who is this? And I was like, oh, this Matt Rife. And then it, you know, popped in my idea, like, man, I need to get him to be the lead actor of The Private Eye. He would be perfect. And so I brought it up to Matt, and he read the script, and you know, after he liked the script, he came on board, and then he just started giving all his ideas, which was amazing. There's so many ideas I want to tell you guys, but it's a mystery. So I can't release what you know, Matt was actually telling me and advice, etc. But we eventually were like, oh, he's perfect for the role. Production was like, Matt's perfect. Let's get him on board. And then we told Matt, I think May of 2020, that, hey, we want to film in late September, you know, 2020. We want to film this. And this is when COVID is very new.
Oh, yeah.
You know, nobody, the world just shut down. We're like, oh, yeah, by next week we'll be cool. We can, you know, go back.
Yeah.
Everything's normal. No, it didn't happen. So, you know, 2 months later, we're like, okay, we got to do this all ourselves, and we got to follow these certain protocols. It actually saved us being at the beginning of COVID, because there was very, you know, we wanted to be super safe to protect everybody, but the protocol was different than it was in the heat of COVID. Like, so when we were filming, like, it was like a temperature check, and then you had to take a COVID test every 3 days, I think, or like once a week, and then, you know, sign a waiver, like all this stuff. But a fun fact is, for Film LA, which is where you get your permits for filming, we were one of 15 films to successfully complete during 2020.
Oh, wow.
And without getting shut down with COVID.
Right.
And, you know, every project was getting shut down. It was costing millions a day. It was like, after we filmed, everybody was like, dude, we think we're going to just hold off until this COVID stuff's over, because it would cost 1/3 more of the budget just for COVID protocol. We had to hire a COVID officer, and, you know, the procedures were crazy. It makes me real sad about these behind the scene photos, because every time, I mean, it's me with a mask on.
You know what though, man? That's a blimp in history, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, that's something that you're gonna be able to look back on, and
100%.
and like for us too, man. Like, we were, you know, we got the lease to our outside store on March 12th.
Yes.
And
2020
of 2020.
Yeah.
dude.
So,
The world was down by
we just signed
I
the
remember.
lease,
Yeah.
and then March 17th is when we got the phone call that, hey, you guys can't open.
But, oh,
And
We were supposed
so,
to open March 22nd.
oh
Yeah.
my god.
So what we did, but it all worked out, bro.
Yeah.
Because now instead of rushing to get that store open, like we're like, all right, let's sell stuff online, and then let's work on the lab. So when we were out there, like,
Well, without that, the
we-
lab
we-
wouldn't even exist.
yeah. So like it was an old Justice out there. So it was like purple carpet with flowers on it,
Yeah.
pink, teal, and orange walls. And so we just ripped everything off the wall. We ripped the carpet up. We just went and bought white paint with rollers, and we rolled the floor, bro. We rolled the
Yeah.
walls. We literally just
Yeah.
rolled the entire room to make it look white because we had nothing to do. It was a full month of shutdown. So it was like, all right, let's
Adapting
innovate.
is everything. Adapting, it's really what changes the game. Just telling yourself, like, no matter what, this is what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
you could put hell in high water. I've got a saying that I like saying lately is, when you're doing something right when the devil's knocking at that door.
Yeah.
Like I used to, freak out when things would go haywire and everything wouldn't work out. But now I'm like, damn, I'm doing something right. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
I'm right.
I gotta
I'm right here.
change my thought process,
Yeah,
bro.
right.
Like when my back's against the wall, it's like, all right, I can figure out how to get out of here, but like there's a moment where like none of the wires are connected in my brain. They're all fried, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do, dude? Like,
It's almost like the closer you get to like the destination or the goal, you start to get more turbulence, turmoil happens, and you have to get over these hurdles. But you can see, the finish line, or at least the start of whatever you're beginning. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, but you start to see the financial hardships. You start to see how much time you put into it. That other things are falling apart. You start to see your world outside of your professional fall because you've put so much time. Like, other things start to happen, so you have to like gather back up, get those eggs in a row, and then just keep pushing forward. Because
That's what people love too, by the way. Like, nobody liked the easy story.
Yeah.
Like the narrative of your life story. Nobody liked it when it was, it just worked out and everything was beautiful. Nah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants to hear that shit because
Right.
that's bullshit.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Dude, hey, everybody loves the underdog,
Always.
And that's it, man. And don't get me wrong, I've had the highest of highs and I've had the lowest of lows. And it helps that I have a family because I have somebody there with me all the time. No matter when I lose, like, these guys are like, it's all good, man. Like, because kids are so awesome because they're like, they're like, it's so funny. I have my kids, and they'll start saying stuff or they'll do something bad.
Yeah.
Right. And
you want to get mad at him, be
but
like,
you're
that's my
damn,
seed.
Yeah, and I would have done that.
I would have done
what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, dang, I can't yell at him because he's right,
Yeah.
So, I'm very fortunate to have a family, but don't get me wrong, man. Like, when you lose, like, I was supposed to start production twice on this horror film, and both times some tragedy happened. And, at the time, like, I try to fumble. I'm trying to fumble and play, like, trying to pick everything back up. But honestly, you just got to go through it, and you have to try, because even if you try and it doesn't work out, at least you learn something not to do. You know, and that's people don't talk about that enough. People always glorify the wins, and they're like, wins, but man, once you win, it's never as beautiful as you imagined it. And then you realize, once you realize that, then you appreciate the journey. Because for me, I don't, once I'm winning on all these things, I'm going to be smiling, but I'm already ready for the next journey,
Next thing,
because like, it's just, that's what you'll remember, you won't, everybody glorifying you and just what other people, it's really strange when other people start talking about you.
Right.
Like, you have no control over what that person says.
Right.
Yeah.
It's it can be great. It can be better than what it really is, or it can be more critical and worse than it really is, but you don't have control over it. So being able to be okay with yourself enough to realize, hey, I did this art for myself. And that is the key. You do it for yourself, because too many studios, they chase trends, you know, like they want to make, oh, what's popular right now?
Oh, they want Matt
You know,
Rife.
let's chase trends. Let's get the biggest guy, you know, but that's not how it works.
Right.
What you got to make trends. And the only way to do that is if you do it for yourself. You know, you did this art. Like I made this movie for myself. I like watching it. You know, I hope people. Hey, I hope people. I'm inviting them to watch it with me. I hope they love it. You know, but I made it for myself. I love watching this movie. I can't tell you how many times my wife is probably sick of the movie because like there's been many times I'm on Netflix or whatever, and I'm like, man, this movie's garbage.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, let's watch The Private Eye.
Right, bro. They're
awesome.
they're greenlighting
Awesome.
too many movies on Netflix right now, man.
Well, and they want too quick, you know, and they don't care about the quality. If you look at the greats, like the real greats, like I'm talking about Martin Scorsese. Do you know what Martin Scorsese's last movie was? He's got a movie coming out this month, which
Flower.
that's Killer of the Flower's Moon. But do you remember his last movie?
Yeah,
It was called The Irishman, but it came out 4 years ago.
Fire.
You know, or 4 or 5
3
years
and a
ago.
half hour movie, bro.
3.5 hour movie. But the point is he's not trying to make a million movies in a year. He's just trying to tell a great story, and I don't care how long it takes me. You know, some of his movies take him 10, 30 years to make.
Yeah.
You know, but those are all the greats. I mean, James Cameron,
Quentin Tarantino.
You know,
he's only
Quentin
doing
Tarantino.
10 movies.
100%, and he already did
9.
9. So
He's
he's
got one left
more.
in his chamber, bro.
Yeah, it's called The Critic, I believe.
Oh, is that what it's
going
gonna be?
Critic? It's called The Movie Critic, I think.
All right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget. We got to look that up, I guess. But anyway, I believe it's called The Movie Critic. He might have already started filming. I know this SAG and writer strike pushed everything back, which is that's something we should talk about because we were talking about AI. You know, do you guys know what this writer strike or actor strike was about?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like,
I mean, and it makes sense too.
What about you, Andrew? Do you know what that?
I do.
Yeah.
I'm looking up the Movie Critic right now.
Is it The Movie Critic? Is that the Tarantino?
Yes.
Yeah.
Final Quentin Tarantino's final film, The Movie Critic.
Boom.
I didn't
Look
even
at
know that was already in stone, bro.
I think he
Yep.
casted the
About a
lead
porn
actor
magazine.
too. Yeah,
Racist porn magazine. The
Sounds very
Pop
Tarantino.
Star, yeah, the Pop Star Pages is what
Yeah.
it's.
who's the actors? Does it have anybody yet?
Yeah, they just casted the lead. It was somebody surprising. You gotta look it up.
Yeah.
It's not the guy from that ping pong balls movie. No, it's not. I forget. I forget who he cast.
Paul Walter have stated Paul Walter Hauser has been offered the director's cut. No, Daniel Rickman or it doesn't say.
Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't cast it officially yet.
It doesn't have a cast that I can see.
Well, I'm excited. You know,
let's
Tarantino.
see
You know, he's like wine to me. I mean, you know, I like his movies. That I know his first 2 were very out of order, which were very new. That's what people want. They want a new thing. I mean, that's why I like working horizontal too, because people don't realize. I mean, every 10 to 20 years, I mean, it's going to cycle, and that people are going to die off, and people are going to lose it. I mean, how many young women, you know, go see Brad Pitt and Johnny Depp? You know what I mean? Like when we were younger, they were like, I mean, not even young girls, young people. I used to love Johnny Depp and Brad Pitt, but
Anything they did, yeah.
But you know, and I still do. I love Brad Pitt and you know, Johnny Depp. I haven't seen his latest movie yet, but the point is we want something fresh, man. Like we want something new, like, and it goes with the actors, but also filmmakers. You know, style. I really want Martin Scorsese to watch The Private Eye because he did 2 interviews this year. One was, I mean, they're both with big ass magazines, but like one interview, it was talking all about like how he doesn't like that the roller coaster movies. He thinks studios make too many Marvel movies and like, you know, where there's nothing, like no real depth and like art, because like plays and human acting and human experience with psychology, that's an art form to recreate that. And that's what, you know, Martin Scorsese's more of that drama type of director, and he's like, dude, there's not enough of these people out there. And then the other interview was all about, well, young filmmakers are going to really have to fight back from the studios, because once the studio owns you, you know, they you know, if they've got your next 3 pictures or whatever, they'll make you pump these out. You know
I mean, a prime example is M. Night Shyamalan, man. You know, he comes out with with The Sixth Sense, and then he follows it up with The Signs, but he was like tied into like a 5-movie deal. So then he had to come out with like The Lady in Red or whatever that shit was. Like the next, and then the one movie where the trees were killing everybody with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
like
The Happening.
The Happening, yeah. So
I remember
like,
seeing that in theaters.
so yeah, so like I almost feel like he held on to the good ones and just dropped those 3 in just to fulfill that.
Yeah.
And then he's like, all right, now I can go back to my good shit.
And that's, I think, what Martin Scorsese was talking about.
100%,
you know,
dude.
and that's where I want to be not at. Like, I want to gain enough awareness where, you know, studios will start recognizing and, you know, letting me do my thing. But I definitely don't want to get stuck in making a lot of movies that I don't want to. I've already made some movies where, you know, it's, you know, they didn't even, you'll never see them, or, you know, I'm like, oh man, you know, like I better not talk about that.
Yeah.
But you know, but the reason why is like, you know, it was all for the next step, and I'm so glad I did all that, because if I just did straight to Private Eye, it would not have been what it is.
Right.
You know.
100%.
And you know, and it just got lucky. I mean, preparation and timing. You know, I wasn't making, you know, even before Matt blew up or anything, like I knew that I wanted to make the best movie I could. You know, I wanted it to go big, and you know, and that's where, you know, the universe or God or whatever was saying, hey, we'll just make your lead actor famous as fuck now. You know,
And that's like winning a lottery ticket, bro.
Yeah,
like you know, you're betting on this horse, right? You're like, man, the horse isn't as big as this one. Like, you know, it's not the gray horse that the Italians always fucking put the $5 on because the gray horse always wins. Like, it's this little number 17 horse. You're like, bro, but this horse, like, I got to sit with it. Like, I can see it. Like, it's got determination, man. Like, that's the horse I want to fucking put my money on.
100%.
And when you put your money on it and that 17 horse wins, you're like, not only are you like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then you start thinking, you're like, damn, I got it. Like,
Yeah.
I can see the future with these things.
Yeah,
like,
well, and that's it. Matt
Yeah.
was the final confirmation for me. Like I said, I've seen, you know, I've hired actors that blew up even before Matt, and even this is pretty crazy. So one of Matt's best friend is this guy named Kevin Miles. And before Kevin Miles blew up or Matt Rife blew up, they were sitting on my producer Hope IE. They're on his couch pitching us they have a TV pilot comedy that they want to do. And then about a week later, we can't get a hold of Kevin Miles. And this is Matt's really good. I mean, they're like best friends. They're still friends. And we can't get a hold of Kevin. Well, Kevin he's Jake from State Farm. You know,
Oh,
so
shit.
he blew up. You know, it's been 5 years now since that moment. And but just seeing,
Wow.
you know, like I've seen that happen. There's the KJ Smith we already talked about. Derek King blew up. He was in our shootouts. He was in I think it was 4400, 4411. I'm sorry, Derek, for ruining the title of the TV show. But you know, Derek is blown up, and Brandon Brown. But you know, I've seen all these people, but I think it's all about working horizontal, because you know what's crazy too is all these people, Derek King, Kevin Miles, they don't know. Like, I don't know if Derek King knows Matt Rife, but Derek King's good friend with Kevin Miles. So like, it's really weird. They're all in the same circle. It's kind of what I like to call, I want to do a big interview with like Rolling Stones in the next few months called New Hollywood. And it's all about, like, you know, I mean, we talked about Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro. You know what I mean? Like, that's, you know, like they were nobodies, you know, like Martin Scorsese was just trying to make movies, and Robert De Niro was just trying to be an actor who didn't do anything. And then, you know, but they collaborated. And this is something I definitely wanted to talk about is I literally started partnering myself with leaders. And the beautiful thing about being a leader and partnering with a leader is you just are a force. You create these waves. You're all riding on a different wave. Like right now, Matt's on a wave. You know, he's blowing up. I'm super proud of Matt. Like I always knew he would make it happen, and he did it, and even more than I could even imagine. And he's on this wave, and then I'm on this wave. Like I'm not gonna let anybody tell me no. I'm like, no, I'm doing this no matter what. You know, you could tell me whatever the hell you want, and then all of a sudden, the waves connect and you start surfing on the same wave all of a sudden, and then the wave will split and then the wave will come back. And that's what it is like working with leaders, man. You get stuff done, you know, like Matt brought in so many great things to the Private Eye. You know, he's great friends with Eric Griffin. Like Matt, I don't know if you know this, but Matt started when he was like, he's the youngest person to ever perform at the Laugh Factory. I believe that's a real historic thing. He was like 14 or something like that.
That's dope.
And Eric Griffin believed in him when he was a kid. And like, you know, I used to talk to Matt, and he's like, yeah, me and Eric always play video games together. Eric Griffin's
a big video game fan.
Eric Griffin's big into video games. And then Eric, this is a cool story that I guarantee even the cast member doesn't know about, but a cool thing about Eric Griffin, he was supposed to play the role of Detective Bradley, which now is Denzel Whitaker, and I'm so glad it worked out the way it does. That's another thing, is you don't know what the God's plan is, you know, like you think this is the way to do it, but it's so glad it worked out the other way, because Denzel came on and he's a dramatic actor. Like Eric is literally the funniest person I've ever worked with. Yeah, you know, like he's just loud and proud.
Matt, you hear that, bro?
No, yeah, Matt gave me shit. Even like Dave, I actually told Matt that on set, and Matt looked at me and was like, I was like, man, you know, Eric is literally the funniest guy I've ever worked with. Matt looks at me and he says, thanks, Jack. But you know, but the thing with Matt, man, is Matt is a genius. Like Matt is a improv. He's so quick with his wit that Matt knows exactly what he's feeling. He's saying, and he's not afraid to say it. You know, I never really liked comedy, man, stand-up comedy between us until I met my wife. My wife would always play like Dave Chappelle and Cat Williams, and you know, at first,
Cincinnati boy,
Cincinnati, Cat Williams, and now Dave's up in Ohio. But she would always play those guys, and you know, at first I'm like, you know, getting into it, and then she would start playing like Ralphie May, and like, you know, start getting into it. And I at first I was like, oh, what, you know, I don't know. But then the first comedy show I've ever been to was actually a Matt Rife show. We're in New York City on set, and he's you know, it's so funny. We casted Matt in New York, and he would leave. He would get a private jet. He was opening up for Dane Cook at the time.
Oh shit!
And then, so he would just like, he'd be like, Jack, the next 2 days I gotta leave set and go, you know, to open up. I'm opening up for Dane Cook, and he'd get a private jet flown out, and you know, and this is a new experience to me, but. Anyway, all weekends and any day off and every night, we'd be filming in Long Island, Hicksville, and then he'd come into the city and you know, do some comedy shows. Him and another actress, comedian, Eugenia Kuzmina, and they brought me in to their comedy shows, and that was actually the first time I experienced comedy, stand up. And you know, it's a different art form, man. It's you gotta, you know, instruments, musicians, at least they got instruments, right? Like you can play guitar, you can play, you know, when you're stand up making people laugh, man, you know, you gotta have something. And you know, that, you know, Matt did it on the stand-up comedy level. I mean, he did something new. He found his niche, and he's winning.
I mean, not only did he find his niche, though, he's doubling down on his work ethic, bro. Like, you know, he was just in town like a month ago, right?
Yeah, he was
for the Funny Bone.
Yep, Eric was with them.
No shit.
Eric Griffin was there with them. Yeah, it was Eric and Matt.
Man. So, but that's one of those things where it's like he hasn't even been to Cincinnati yet, but he's already booking the Icon tour, right?
Yeah.
The Icon Theater.
He'll be there
his
Friday.
Problematic tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I know. I'm hoping that I'm not going to give you any shirts until Friday. Hopefully that you're just hanging out with him, and I'm gonna text you and I'll be like, "Yo, shirts are ready."
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, "Oh shit, I got Matt Rife with me," and be like, "Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you can bring him with, I guess."
Yeah, he's definitely going to get one, man.
Yeah,
you know, the shirts you did were phenomenal. I mean, we'd be revealing them right now, but the shirt is the movie poster. And
Bro,
and we're revealing the movie poster in Cincinnati. We're revealing October 27th. We're having a big party up at in Glendale, the town square of Glendale, 5 Village Square, and we're gonna reveal the movie poster and T-shirts, etc.
That's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
I can't wait, man. It's just like I feel so privileged and so awesome to be on that side of the fence where it's like we've got the movie poster, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like
No,
they literally trust me with not fucking this up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's
And you've done phenomenal. I've
True.
seen a world. I've seen the shirts, and they are fire.
Yeah, bro.
I think we're gonna have to make a lot more. Sorry to tell you that.
Hey, I'm here for it, bro.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm 100% in because these are gonna fly for sure.
Oh my God, man.
Especially if Matt posts the shirt,
Yeah.
like it's gonna be over with because it's it's first of all it's his first big role, right? Like his first, like he's the main actor of it. You know, he's done. Did he start with Wildin' Out?
That was one of. I mean, stand-up comedy has been his thing, and if we're talking about Matt, but he did do Wildin' Out. I mean, there's this awesome. I didn't know him back then. That's when he was real young. I think I first met him when he was 24. He was like 21 to 22 or something like that when that came out. But there's this clip on YouTube that's hilarious with him and Zendaya. I don't know if you've seen it. Zendaya's got water in her mouth, and Matt's trying to get her to spit it out.
To laugh.
Yeah. But I don't know. He actually just made an appearance this past year in Wildin' Out as a guest. I actually have another friend on that right now. Her name's Or Mash. Like I met her through Eugenia. She's another stand-up. See, that's what happened when I got introduced to the stand-up world, dude. I got like immersed. Like,
yeah, your eyes are open.
Oh, if you go to the two big places in LA right now are the Comedy Store and the Laugh Factory. They've got the Improv too, but the Comedy Store was so awesome. Like, the Comedy Store, there's 4 different rooms in the Comedy Store, but before those shows happen, it's just like hundreds of people just hanging out, like, smoking cigarettes and drinking beer. Like,
yeah.
One time I went to go see Jamie Kennedy, and I took my wife, and my wife just yells out, "Bobby!" And I'm like, "Who the hell?" But she just yelled at Bobby Lee. It was Bobby Lee right there.
Yeah.
Bobby Lee looks at my wife like thinking like he knows her. Like, It was the funniest thing. But it's just the community is so awesome. Comedian community is so awesome. To answer the question about Matt, I do believe this is his first lead role in a feature, but he's been in a lot of big stuff. Like he's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's been other big movies that he's been in. But he's got. I've got another friend named Jay Davis. His hashtag is Jay Davis Comedy.
Hey, I know Jay.
You do?
Yeah.
Jay Davis Comedy. So he produced a movie called Don't Suck, and Matt plays. I believe he's a supporting actor in that. The movie from the commercial's already out, and from what I watched, it's Jamie Kennedy going on tour, and then he meets a vampire, and the vampire is played by Matt Rife, and the vampire's like, I want to open up for you on tour. And then, they go through their adventure. But it looks like awesome, and, I'm so excited for Jay and Matt and Jamie.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, like Jamie's fire, bro. Like, I feel like he's at the point right now where he doesn't give a fuck anymore, right? Like he's
good place to be.
Yeah, he's done the
Very
movies.
free, yeah.
He's he was the most iconic character in Scream of all time. And he had his own TV show on MTV, and now he's just like
X. Were you talking about X? Project X,
yeah,
I think it was where he dressed up all the time and pranked people.
Yeah, bro.
I love that.
The Jamie Kennedy experiment.
That's exactly
Experience.
Yeah, no, I love that. And of course, Malibu's Most Wanted, chapstick. Look at that,
bro.
Ford Maverick.
So all the guys on the Kansas City Chiefs, they compared Travis Kelce
to Malibu's Most Wanted.
B-Rad.
B-Rad.
Yeah,
that's
bro.
funny.
And he even and Travis Kelce, he even laughed laughed about it, and then he said, hey yo, traffic, looking for my chapstick.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of sports stars, you seen this guy? He plays basketball, but he just started getting in the emo phase. You see this? Like,
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, bro.
Yeah,
Jimmy
man, he's
Butler.
looking good, bro. You see this guy?
Jimmy
like,
Buckets,
that,
bro.
See, that's where I grew up. I grew up in those Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco
Yeah,
days,
dude.
man. Like, you know,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
like, damn,
emo
dude,
right
okay.
now.
You know what's crazy
He's
to me,
emo.
bro, was like so when they asked him about his hair, he said, "I'm in my emotional phase."
Yeah.
And that was the first time
Love it.
that I have ever put emo and emotional together.
Oh, really? Okay.
I never
Dude,
put the two
that's
together,
why.
bro.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
Did you? I mean, do you?
Yeah, 100%.
I knew
You're
that.
like, yeah, bro. I've been emo
I was
for 10
emo,
years, man.
yeah. I was
I've been
emo.
in that
I was
I
emo
was
as fuck.
emotional my entire life.
I sit in that space. Emo is short for emotional music.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Butler's the man, dude.
Oh,
dude,
you know,
yeah.
there's a conspiracy theory that he's
A robot?
No, that he's
Android?
Michael Jackson's
Michael Jordan.
illegitimate Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
Jesus.
Michael
Oh,
Christ, Michael
I
Jordan.
did
Jordan.
check that out. Yeah.
Illegitimate
Son,
son.
because
Yo.
it all lines up that Jordan was in that city when Jimmy Butler was, born.
Born.
So
Conceived.
conceived, not born, obviously. And then Jordan. There is like basically there is a woman out there that carried Jordan's. They're attached somehow, but Jordan didn't want anything involvement, and it turns out that it could be Jimmy Butler, and like all the facts and all the pointers are.
Because he was
You know what I
Jimmy.
mean?
Jimmy
Like,
was
I mean,
adopted too. He was
I
adopted
believe
by
it.
a white family.
Yeah,
Really?
I believe it because like the thing is like, I mean, like if Jimmy Butler is the top tier talent in the league, and Michael Jordan is that, and if he has even half of Michael Jordan's ability, that's what you got Jimmy Butler. And on top of that, like Jimmy Butler doesn't know anything about his dad, so
Right.
like
Family,
yeah, he doesn't know anything, and I think he low key thinks it too, like
Yeah.
based on what people talk
He
to him.
might. I mean, shit,
Yeah.
dude. There's been so many fucking crazy. Like the latest one I heard about was. Did you guys hear this conspiracy about like Matthew McConaughey?
Yes,
and,
dude. Yes.
And Woody
Holy
Harrelson.
shit, bro!
Being,
They are
brothers.
They are brothers.
Yeah.
They've got to be.
Yeah.
They're
They've got-
talking
they've got
about
the-
having a what is it?
a
One of those
paternity
tests.
test,
Yeah, yeah.
but Woody doesn't want his father
I got you.
to feel left out or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so apparently like Matthew McConaughey was what was it like? His mom was like, "Oh yeah, I know Woody's dad,"
Oh.
and he was like, "Well, what do you mean you know Woody's dad?"
Yeah.
Oh
Like-
man. Oh man.
And she literally like
No.
put it out there like, "Yeah."
You know, I met Woody's mom.
Oh really?
Yeah, like we were doing a screening. Well, no, it was Lotus Shark and the Owens Group. We're doing a screening of
The Owens
Woody-
Group, man. I used
Yeah.
to get a ton of posters from those guys when
Oh,
I was
love
an
them.
intern at the radio station.
Doris Owens. She's the champ. She actually brought a lot of everything that's film related in Cincinnati. She's the OG.
I never knew that the
Oh.
Owens Group and her were the same because I know about
Doris
about
Owens.
Doris. No
yeah,
shit.
no, yeah, Doris. She's the champ. And that's Gary Owens'
She's been doing
aunt
it-
too.
Really?
Yeah, small world, man.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, Cincinnati love, man. Like Doris is the OG of bringing films to Cincinnati. Like
She's been doing it a long
Yeah.
time because I was interning in like 2001 or something, and we were getting like. It was like that. That's how I was paid. Like I was an intern at the radio station, so they
Yeah.
would just give me shit out of the closet, and it was like Owens Group, and it was like the movie. I've got all the Matrix Mylar movie posters.
from the Owens Group.
Yeah.
No, they shoot, dude. They're OGs. So they were with Woody Harrelson. They were showcasing screening of one of his movies, his latest movies. I forget what it was. It was it was a basketball movie. It just came out this past.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Yeah,
yeah.
and so I got to go to the screening at the Esquire, and and then his mom showed up and
Oh,
watched
no
it with
way,
us. That was
dude.
pretty dope. Yeah.
That's super fire.
No, yeah.
Especially at the Esquire, bro, because like
Yeah.
that's like such
Oh.
an iconic like old school theater that still
Yeah.
has like that. It still brings them in to this day, man.
Oh, 100%. I had my last premiere there.
That's the place for the movies.
And Doris Owen and Kristen Slotman, Kristen, she's started, she helped start Film Cincinnati and with Doris, and there was a few others that were in the making of it, but they're heavily responsible for bringing a lot of the big movies into Cincinnati. And what I love is I love how the big movies film here, but what I want to do to evolve, because it's all about expanding and getting bigger. What I want to do, and Doris was very big on this, and she's done it already. She would bring in all these big acts. She talks to me one time, about all these big movie premieres she brings in, and I'm talking about big actors. There's some names that I'm afraid to say right now because I'm respecting her. But
Right.
What I really want to do is I want to bring more of that experience of Hollywood to Cincinnati. It's great that Tom Hardy and Austin Butler film here. But I want them to have the premieres here. So what my partners and I are doing is we're having a Hollywood premiere at, TCL Chinese Theater and, the Village Theater in New York. But we're throwing some big parties in Cincinnati.
Dude, I've got goosebumps, bro. Look at that.
Hey,
Like
that's what I
literal
like to hear.
goosebumps, man.
Yeah, let the camera
Because that's what. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, get that close up.
But that's that's what Cincinnati needs, man.
Dude,
like it's always
It's perfect.
It's
for it, too.
always the movies are filmed here, and then we don't get to see any of it until it's in the theaters, and
Yep.
then you're like, oh shit, there's Covington, or oh, there's
Yeah,
Newport.
yeah.
Like, but to bring it back and to say, hey, like, thank you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that would mean
And,
so
and that's
much.
what real Hollywood is about. I mean, if you go to Hollywood, dude, yeah, the studios and everything are cool, you know what I mean? But, dude, it's all about the nightlife and dude, you'd be surprised. Everybody's backyard in Hollywood, and Cincinnati is perfect for the the artistic side, and it can really host some great events. And I could guarantee this right now, Jay and Andrew, you guys are my witness. Every Illusion Islands movie that is ours and our control, we're going to do the same thing that we do in LA and New York right here in Cincinnati and
That's
northern
incredible,
Kentucky, and that's a promise.
That's incredible. And like
Yeah.
Film Cincinnati and everything, like all the businesses or corporations that they've put through Cincinnati and northern Kentucky to get the movies here.
Yep.
Like it's working, bro.
Oh,
it's,
it is,
it's really,
man.
and
They're
there's
killing it. They are doing great, dude. Dude, the two most famous actors in my mind that right now, like New Hollywood, are Austin Butler and Tom Hardy. Those
Yep.
are like the top actors. We could throw Matt Rife in there too, people.
Yeah, he's definitely in there.
But they filmed. Both Tom Hardy and Austin Butler were in Cincinnati last year filming a movie, Bike Riders. It's about to come out. I saw the trailer actually.
Yeah, bro.
Was
You know what's crazy about Austin Butler, man? Like that dude is a spitting image of right down the middle, James Dean, and I'm not gonna say Elvis because obviously he played Elvis, but like who did I? It was definitely James Dean and. Who the fuck
You can
else
say
was
Elvis. I mean, that motherfucker killed it.
It was right,
You know,
right.
like,
But it was
yeah,
so
yeah.
when I was like when you see Austin sitting there like with the biker jacket on, like
Yeah.
it's like
Oh, Marlon
He
Brando? Are you
is-
thinking? I don't know. Like he did the biker. I mean, he don't remind me of Marlon Brando.
no, it was
No offense.
it was definitely James Dean and it
I
was
see
it was a
James
mix
Dean.
it was a mix between two people,
Yeah.
but it was like this dude's got it, bro.
And
like
he's a child actor. He's just like Matt, man. That guy didn't make it for freaking 20 years.
that's incredible,
Austin
bro.
Butler, and then COVID helped him too. That movie got held up twice because of COVID, and I think because of that, Austin was able to practice more and rehearse more on his character because
He killed that role,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I heard he had a hard time getting out of that role afterwards.
I believe it. He still is. He still acts like he's he still talks like it.
That's what I mean. It'd be hard not to, bro, because all the women that are coming up to you, they want to hear that. They,
Yeah.
they don't want you to be like, "Hey, how are you?" You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Let me ask you guys. Speaking of like Elvis, what are you guys' thoughts on this new Bob Marley movie? Have you seen any trailers or anything?
I have not,
No.
but
You
I
guys got to watch a trailer. We
Yeah.
can't say nothing yet. I'll let you guys watch a trailer and form
and-
your own opinion.
Do they? Do you know about the conspiracy theory about the CIA killing him?
I'm pretty sure I've heard it. My wife is a Rasta, so like she has like I don't know if you know who Ali Selassie is, but that's who they believe the second coming of Christ is. Like he was the king of Ethiopia. So every time they say Jah Rastafari, their God
okay.
is a living man. Like that's Ali Selassie. So I've heard a lot. I'm very involved in that world. From a spectator, like
Yeah.
not as a player, but well, tell me this theory.
So, Bob Marley, he was in a he got asked to do an interview, and it was somebody from the CIA who wanted to interview him, and he brought him a pair of Converse Chuck Taylors.
Oh shoot.
And in the front of the shoe there was a little
Needle?
pin,
Oh, damn.
that had cancer on it.
Damn.
And so when he put his foot, like, the guy actually speaks on it. The guy that claims that he was the one that killed Bob Marley is in interviews. Like, you can see it on YouTube.
It's like some Snake Plissken shit. You guys
And he
know what
was
I'm talking about?
like, yeah, he was like the second that he put his foot in the Converse, he's like he jumped real quick and was like, ooh. He's like, right there, I knew that the time was ticking.
Damn.
And so he died of melanoma of the toe.
Foot, yeah.
But the cancer, it took him out like within 3 or 4 weeks, which is like melanoma is like one of the longest growing cancers.
It takes
forever.
years. Yeah.
So 3 weeks he was gone. And
Man,
so the
it's
CIA,
so sad that that's even like a possibility, because like it may shit makes sense when you when you
bro,
put that
it's
shit
crazy,
together.
man.
Yeah, I mean that guy was so political too. Like he would. I remember one time he had there's a story about him doing a show and there was 2 politicians that hated each other in Jamaica, like the exact opposites. And Bob Marley invited them both to the show.
Oh shit!
Brought them both on stage. They didn't know about the other one, and he made them shake hands in front of everybody.
That's incredible, bro.
You know,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm sure you guys know. I mean, he got shot in the chest, and they
Performed the next day.
Yeah, and they say that it bounced off his heart and shit like that. You know, dude, that's one guy, Bob Marley. I mean, and that's why I can't say anything about the movie until I see it, and I want you guys to watch this trailer before we have any opinions about it. But
Who plays Bob Marley?
Shoot, man, now you got me. I know exactly the actor's name. He's you're gonna have to look it up. I feel so bad about not knowing the name.
No worries. On the spot, that happens.
Yeah. I know he might be British, if I'm correct. I don't really. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. But anyway, I just want Bob Marley the movie to be as good as the Elvis movie. That's all.
100%, bro. He needs the recognition.
Talking about One Love?
recognition.
The actor, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick.
Kingsley Ben Adir.
Hey, I got to too. But should I wait till you're back? 'Cause I could talk to Andrew.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right,
that's
I'll talk to Andrew for a bit.
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
you're good. Oh, to Andrew, what's on your mind?
What's on my
man?
mind?
What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? Yeah.
Tell me more. So I loved the concept you were telling me about your new experiment. That I love.
Yeah, it's called Beyond the Stage, where I'm interviewing artists once a month at Madison Live in Covington. So I bring, I have a whole couch. I bring it on stage. And it's kind of like a conversation interview, kind of like kind of a tiny desk vibe too. So people have, the different artists have taken it their own way each time.
Yeah.
Like they've kind of like, because the first artist I did they're called Season 10, and they kind of went in like a podcast format.
Yep.
They wanted to just have a conversation, which we talked conspiracy theories. We talked about just what's everyone's favorite, like donut, if you will. Like what's everyone's favorite thing. Like we kind of talked about just different topics, and then they played songs in between the interviews. So that's kind of how it's structured. And then I just interviewed a guy named Rye, R-H-Y, Rye the Kid, out of Cincinnati, and one dude, he had a full band with him though, so he kind of did like a live set kind of thing with some brand new songs, and his was more like, let's talk about what he was doing in the music industry and how he's coming up as a 23-year-old, and he's just killing the game, like locally. Like he's able to pull people. His music's super catchy. He's just doing everything. He's doing everything right.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. What's his name? Rye.
Rye.
What does he do? Does he play
He's
music or is he a singer?
He's a hip hop rap singer.
Awesome.
Very melodic, very catchy.
Awesome. I definitely need to get it turned on to him. You got to text me his stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And then October 26th, I'm interviewing, having a conversation with Jordan Frank.
Okay.
A local guy, singer-songwriter. He'll be doing all originals,
awesome.
And he's a homie of the brand. He's been on our podcast as well, so that'll be pretty exciting to have a round of that, if you will. And part of the show is that I have a guest host, so each event, I call them event series, Beyond the Stage Live, I have a guest host, so whoever's on it knows the artist, they're familiar with them, so we have a conversation, we all kind of give our opinions on things. We talk and we it's like
something that you were
yeah.
you were showing me a little bits and pieces earlier. Something I loved about it was you have the band. Sometimes if it's a band, you have them performing and then you'll take a break.
Yes, take a
That's
break for a
freaking
conversation.
awesome.
Take
Yeah.
a break for a conversation. Yes.
All right, Andrew, talk
Yes.
more about it. I need to use
Absolutely.
the restroom. I'm so sorry. Hey,
No.
I'll see you soon, world.
Yeah. We're good. Yeah. Yeah. So we do, like you were saying, is they do perform songs, and we do have a conversation in between songs. And the next one is, like I said, October 26th at Madison Live with Jordan Frank. That's what we were talking
Yes,
about,
sir.
Jay. Yeah, so really excited about that. Really excited to see what he's got to say. We talk about the music industry as it stands, because, I mean, he obviously played music before it, the pandemic, and then what we're seeing where we're after the pandemic. That'll be an interesting topic, because I'm curious how, like, all these artists are measuring up. Yeah, they can release music, and we can see it on local social media, but, like, on a national scale, like how do you overcome that in this day and age, and trying to reinvent yourself in a lot of cases? Like, I mean, Jordan Frank did reinvent himself by changing from Frankly Speaking to Jordan Frank, so he's going like that route, which is awesome how he's pivoting. And I'm just interested to see where's heads at. Like, is there a reason deeper into it? I mean, I'm just curious.
I mean, I feel like even Childish Gambino is going to change his name, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's you grow out of your experience, or you grow out of that, that you shed your skin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I always used Eminem as the perfect example. He's literally the perfect example.
Slim Shady.
Yeah, he went through all sorts
Marshall
of,
Mathers,
and he's at the
Eminem.
top of the food chain. So if the
Yeah.
top of the food chain can get away with a bunch of different names and not feel like he's pigeonholed to this stuff, then
That's true too, man. Because it's like, even Jordan was like, man, I'm really worried about changing my name from Jordan Frankly Speaking to Jordan Frank, and
Yeah.
it's like, bro, it's a growing experience, and it's they're still gonna they're gonna type in Jordan and it's still gonna pop up, right?
Yes.
But for somebody like Eminem, you go from Slim Shady to Marshall Mathers to Eminem, and it's like he's just that popular where you
Yeah.
can call him the white boy and
Right.
they know who you're talking about.
right. But the thing is like he's gonna be popular no matter what, to a degree. But when you're at that high of a level, to stay at the top of the food chain and change your name, and then continue to stay at the top of the food chain, then change your name again, and to stay at the top, like, you know what I mean? Like, Jay-Z, like,
a prime example is Garth Brooks. Do you know Garth Brooks came out with an album called Chris Gaines?
no,
Nobody does.
I didn't.
So
know that. That's interesting.
Garth Brooks
I know Garth
made
well, yeah.
but he made one album where he didn't call himself Garth Brooks. He called himself Chris Gaines.
Is that his birth name?
No, I think Garth Brooks is his real name.
Okay.
But
so,
the photo was like a side profile. Like, the whole album was black, and it was like only one light shining on him. He had a cowboy hat on. Kind of looked like Garth Brooks, but you didn't look like Garth Brooks, right? CD flopped.
okay.
Yeah.
That's
why you don't
that's a
know
great
who
yeah.
Chris Gaines is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's the perfect example. That it can't. It's not that
Which-
easy to
which-
transition to.
Which is crazy to think,
New
because like
branding.
if somebody comes, if a song comes out and it sounds like Garth Brooks and it is Garth Brooks, but when the radio personality goes, that was Chris Gaines, you're gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like you should still like the song because it's Garth Brooks,
Yeah.
but because it didn't have Garth Brooks' name on it, all of a sudden you're like, well, that was okay.
It's a cheaper version.
Cheaper version.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah,
let me chime in on that. Have you guys ever heard of Coulter Wall yet?
No.
Man, dude, I just turned you on to something amazing.
Coulter Wall.
Yeah, the first 2 times I heard him, he sounded like exactly like Johnny Cash. Like, I was like,
Oh,
when I first
shit.
heard him, I was like, holy shit, is this Johnny Cash? Dude, he's my favorite new artist. Because like everything comes in cycles. It's like he's like a folk guitarist, but he's a one-man band. Like, he'll play guitar, play kick drum, sing. But man, there's 2 songs you have to hear. One, like, I think his first big breakout hit was called "The Blacktop" or "Sleeping on the Blacktop." That one's an amazing song. But dude, this one is called "The Devil Wears a Suit and Tie."
Oh, shit.
Holy shit! Like you'll be listening to that next week if you like Johnny Cash. You know?
I'll be listening to it
Yeah.
as soon as we get off the podcast.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, we'll hear that in the store next week, dude. Oh, Coulter Wall, bro. Like you got, hey, have you heard of him, Andrew?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, dude,
No.
come on, guys, you got to hear this
Well,
guy.
yeah, that's cool.
Dude, he's bad, dude. You like Johnny Cash?
Of course, yeah.
Man, this guy is bad.
I-
But it's just kind of what you guys were talking about, like, but. Like now he sounds less like Johnny Cash, which I'm not into.
right. He's trying to find his
But
own.
yeah, he's trying to find his own thing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of time like bands that do covers or they do a certain pocket that try to match someone else, and then they get to the point of success and they're like, all right, it's time for me to do my thing, and then they start to do their thing, and then it just flops. So then they have to drop another song of the previous rendition to get themselves back on, and then they've already lost their momentum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like that's kind of like name of the game. That's why you hear about a lot of artists, and that sophomore album is just
art is funny because like you don't know, man. You don't know until you fucking try. Like
you try something different. And
I was saying, hey, art is in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the craft is waking up every day preparing for that moment.
Yes.
But
That's
the
the
art
truth.
is in the moment. When you're recording a song, that song, your favorite song by whatever your favorite musician or band is, they might have done that in one take, or they might have done that in 100 takes.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
or you don't know. But you know, art is in the moment. You just gotta capture that perfect moment. You know.
Yeah.
Podcast.
I-
who knows what people fucking talk about?
I've done a one take. I've done a whole part of
Ooh,
one
Meryl
take.
Streep that shit. Marlon Brando.
Screamed it through the whole thing one
Yeah.
take.
Oh
yeah.
shit! You're like, I'm not doing no more. That's all you get.
No,
See,
well,
that's the Frank Sinatra shit. I like that.
Well, the thing was, is just like when it came to that, we did a cover of 7 Years by Lucas Graham, and
Love
it was
it.
like a long period of screaming. And when we got to the very end of that part, he's like, dude, honestly, we can do like whisper tracks. I don't know if you know what a whisper track is. We can do like different little things behind it. He's like, but you redoing that, like
You don't need to do
I don't
that.
think. I just think that needs to be that. I'm like,
Yeah,
why is that?
yeah.
He's like, because you did that whole in one breath, dude. And it was the first take. Was it? And he's like, I don't know if you can replicate that. That was perfect, and I just want to say that we should just be done with that.
No,
and, and it was cool. It was
we
cool.
we call those Meryl Streep takes, like, and when I'm filming, because that's a thing. Like literally, the guy who taught me, you know, a lot about film directing was through his lessons as Mike Nichols, and he would always say, he was like, the only actress who the only actor who ever would be able to be good enough for one take that he worked with was Meryl Streep. He's like, there's a few takes, because you always, when you're filming a movie, you're like, all right, one more for safety. You might,
Yes.
you know, I might do, you know, however many it takes to get it right. But Mike Nichols would always say that Meryl Streep was so good, she was so ready for that first take, you wouldn't even need to do a second one, but you did one for safety.
Right.
Because the film or whatever
Oh, yeah.
would,
Yeah.
you know.
That's
it-
fire, bro.
Backup,
And then
yeah.
you're talking about Marlon Brando, man. That was the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that never wanted to read scripts.
Oh, yeah.
No, everything was
Cue cards,
cue cards.
And then he would like put it, like one time somebody got so pissed, I forget what movie it was. Maybe it was I forget what movie it was, but he had the other actor like write on his forehead or like a card and put it on his forehead.
so
You
he's
know,
looking right at him to read it.
You know, and I understand because like, you know, when you're natural, like right now, you know, that's the whole thing about acting. Everybody thinks it's all about the fucking words. It's never about the words.
Right.
It's all about the subject and the situation that's happening, because, you know, me and you, like right now, I'm not thinking about the words I'm telling you. I'm thinking about the subject. My words are just spitting out.
Right.
That's how the acting should be. And that's my style, like that I like for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's something when you watch The Private Eye, you will like the acting. You know, you'll be like, okay, this is great. Like, you know, Matt Rife and Elliot, those two alone, they spent over 3 weeks rehearsing with me.
Yeah.
You know, and making sure that it was right. And just so when you're on set, you're not questioning as much. You know what the character is. And, you know, it's funny. We did some pickup shoots, and I can tell, you know, I'm the director, so like I can see like the difference in everything, because I'm so nitpicky and I know everything
For
that
sure.
has happened. But you can tell the difference in acting on the pickup days, because all the actors on the pickup days, they're so much more comfortable because they're already done with their big movie. you know, like they already filmed for X amount of days.
Right.
You know, so like in the pickup shoots, they're so much more calm and comfortable, and it's just because they had the material for so much longer.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and then the big part's over. Like it's like, you know, for a big interview or whatever, you know, it's your moment, but then afterwards it's like feels so light. You know.
Yeah.
But
It does feel like
it's pretty crazy. You know, preparation is everything.
preparation is literally most.
We
most
we
the
talk
battle.
about that often, man. It's like preparation's like a bow and arrow, man. It's all in holding that arrow in the right place and then waiting to let go.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it's all in that preparation.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, bro, I'm
100%.
I'm here for it.
Development, preparation.
What's the pin on your jacket? Is that from
That came, that came with it. That's you know, Pepe Raimundo's. You know, it might be their logo. I'm not too sure. I should have asked Carmen. But you know, like, hey, just to bring it back out, you know, I got this
completes
jacket.
the fit, bro?
Yeah, I got this jacket at Pepe Raimundo's, and all my red carpet events and all my interviews, I will be wearing him because, man, he knows how to do it. You know how many compliments I got out of this thing already?
My favorite
it's
part
fire,
about
bro.
that
It's
jacket,
next
bro,
level.
is he made sure that the lapel, the top of the lapel is like all flowers, right? So the majority of the jacket is gold with the flowers in it, but the pattern just around your neck is all flowers.
See, your art just came out of you because, like, I wouldn't notice. You know, I'm not you know, you're in the fashion business, so you see these little
I see
things
everything,
matter.
bro.
You
I
know,
mean,
like,
you know,
hey,
the two leaves on each side, like they matched it up perfectly. Like,
heck yeah,
where the lapel is just, it stands out from the gold jacket itself, bro.
man. Hey, you know,
the
thank
color
you.
Killed
is dark.
All
yeah.
Carmen, you know, Carmen is amazing. I don't know if you've met him yet. It's
No, man.
Pepe's son. That's Pepe's son.
Okay.
And he's, I mean, they're like, they're Italian. I've got three companies that I've been working with in Cincinnati. The first one is Lux and Art. They are a photography company led by Michael Bambino, and they are phenomenal. I mean, now Michael's, man, that guy's story is amazing. He went from like making pizza restaurants. I don't know if you ever heard of Spooner's Pizza. It's he had like 28 locations.
Oh wow.
And then after he got out of the pizza game, he actually went Over the Rhine before Over the Rhine is what it is today. Like he was like when Over the Rhine was in the 90s, you know, early 2000s. And then
Dangerous place.
Oh, he got into and it was very successful. It's called Spooner's, but you know, I'll let him tell those stories. But he then he got into like wedding photography, and he started up like 2-3 businesses. Those both were super successful. Now his latest thing is Lux and Art, and it's all about like he does stills of the bridges in Cincinnati and Rome, but he's gotten to headshots. But the latest thing is he's gotten in the movie game, Michael Bambino, and so we've actually got a movie that we've been working on. It's called 6 Days in November, and it's an awesome love story drama. It's actually a biopic about him, but he's an amazing artist, and that's just another point of local Cincinnati. You know, there's so much art. It's just nobody. You know, in L.A. you've got all these big producers, and that's where everybody is. You know, but if you get the right person in to tap into Cincinnati's like art, man, the world's in trouble in a good way, you know. But and then Pepe Raimundo's, they've been, Carmen has been, rocking it. He's got the best style of suits and everything. So I'm definitely wearing him all the red carpets. And then I've been working with this jewelry company called Paulo the Jeweler. It's right in Clifton, right next to the Skyline in Clifton, right there on Ludlow.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
Man, you got to check him out, man. His whole style is awesome, and we've got some big things going for October 27th and October 28th. We've got a big event on October 27th where we're revealing the movie poster in Cincinnati, and we're going to have the dopest shirts and sweaters made by native.
Hey.
And Jay, thank you for that. Andrew, thank you for that. Seriously, and but we'll be revealing all those October 27th right in the Glendale Town Square. Illusion Islands is opening up a Cincinnati headquarters. So like,
oh shit.
Yeah, we're based in Los Angeles, and we film a lot of movies in New York and Los Los Angeles, but we're really trying to hit the ground running with the Cincinnati thing and Northern Kentucky. So we're opening up a headquarters. It's 5 Village Square. And, you know, we'll be doing a lot of movie work and prep work, but we're also going to do some local videos and et cetera there. But we're having a big party October 27th. We have some special guests coming in.
We're there, bro.
Yeah, we have some special guests coming in, and you know, I definitely, you know, can't wait to introduce you to them.
That's incredible, bro. I appreciate it, man.
Is this an all ages thing?
Yeah, this is an all age. Like, we're cutting the ribbon.
Man.
No, please do. I don't know who's it. Charlie? Who's Charlie?
She's my daughter. She's
she should be there. My kids are gonna be there.
It's a
but
Friday,
my kids are
so I can.
Oh, please.
Because I have my event on the 26th.
Please.
Day before, so the night after,
where's your
Madison Live?
Madison Live. All right.
10:26.
Well, I'll come there, and then we'll
27th.
Yep. And then the 28th, I'm actually attending the largest. It's the largest event in Cincinnati all year. It's called the Film Cincinnati Backlot. And so like Film Cincinnati does a fundraiser every year to, you know, support the local filmmakers, because Film Cincinnati is a nonprofit. I don't know if you guys know
Didn't
that.
know that.
Like,
no.
you know,
That's
so
awesome,
you know, and you know, and we're supporting. We've got some actors coming in. We've got, so just to let the beans out. We've got Denzel Whitaker and actors Denzel Whitaker and Elliot Hebler both coming in from Los Angeles, and we've got producer Hope Ayiyi coming in to attend the 27th event, the poster reveal, and the Cincinnati Backlot. I mean, that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring these movie stars into Cincinnati and really, you know, show Cincinnati the Hollywood side that I don't think, I wish there was way more of. Like, we should be, every weekend there should be something Hollywood going on in Cincinnati.
For sure,
bro.
opinion,
you know.
And you're
so true.
You're the guy to do it too, man. Like
I like hearing that.
So
Yep.
you know, we met like maybe 2-3 weeks ago for the first time, and after I met you, everyone I know knows you. You know what I mean? Like everyone that I've talked to,
you know,
like,
some cool ass people.
well, they're like you talking about Jack, and I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about Jack. Like, holy cow, bro! And you are like you're tapped into the city, bro. Like when I asked him what he wanted to drink, he's like local.
No,
I want something local. Show him what you're rocking, bro.
So right now we're getting as local as possible. We got Wooden Cask, which is right here on Newport and the Levee, right here. Hey, that's how we go local. Gold and gold. It matches my suit, so I really like it.
Yeah. How's the beer?
Drinking a blonde is phenomenal, man. It's so easy to drink. You know, it's almost dangerously easy to drink, if you know what I mean. In a good way. I like the danger.
Yeah. Shout out to Wooden Cask, man. Those guys are great.
Yeah, huge shout out for sure.
Yeah, bro. But you're just. I love how you just have Cincinnati on your back, man. You didn't like abandon the city to go to LA to say, hey, like, this is my new hometown. You know, we talked about it before, where it's like, I really feel like if you wanted to get something done in LA, just book a 2-week trip and knock it all out in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, obviously filming would be something different, but if you're going out there as a musician, or if you're going out there as a clothing designer, like, don't move there. Like, spend 2 weeks, get everything lined up, knock everything out, come back home, and then regroup, man.
No,
you know
I
mean?
really like that aspect, you know. And with me, it's like, you know, I moved to Cincinnati to film this horror film, actually, believe it or not. That's the reason why I moved out. And Cincinnati kept me here for different reasons. And you know, I'm stuck in LA too, because my wife's from LA. I mean, it's all about getting yourself stuck into things that, you know, you want to get stuck into, and, you know, like you know, and the things you can't get out of. My wife, I feel so bad for her because she's got so much family. We actually stayed way longer in Cincinnati and planted roots way longer than we thought.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad it happened, because now she loves Cincinnati.
That's
I mean, she
awesome.
definitely misses her family, right? But you know, the kids, you know, I mean, not to bring up some dad shit, but, you know, the
Already did. So.
yeah, I know we already did. But
you opened that can of worms. I mean, I was just curious if it's all ages.
No,
like,
well, it's all ages of 100%, and I love it. But to bring up the dad stuff is the school system is way better out here. You know what I mean? And just like how much homely, like my kids, when they were going to school in L.A., they were taking a city bus. They didn't have no fucking school buses.
Jesus Christ.
Like my oldest kid. This is actually some real stuff. You're gonna have to talk to him. His name is Michael, and his theater name. So he's Michael Cook, but the theater name, not stage name, not theater name, but it is Big Thorn. He's a hip hop producer, rapper, and Big Thorn. And he's actually an actor in the movie as well.
Oh, nice.
We used to. But anyway, he's actually said he's seen somebody die on the city bus going to school. Like somebody on the bus died, and I'm like, he comes home one day. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? He goes, dead serious. Somebody had a seizure and heart attack and died on the bus. You'll have to talk to him about that. But I mean, that's some insane. But that's just like some real LA stuff. Yeah. But my wife is from LA, and LA is so amazing. And what it is it just gets, if you go out as an actor, all right, if you think you can make it as an actor in Cincinnati, you're like, oh, I got the right stuff, and then you move out to New York or LA, and then everybody looks like you, and you go into a room when you're auditioning, you have a typecast and everybody looks like you. They'll say Jay, like longer hair, beard, eye patch. You'll walk in and you'll be like, damn, there's like fucking 100 people that look exactly like me.
I'll tap on every shoulder. Are you really blind?
Yeah. Let me see your eye. Open your patch.
Let me see that eye.
No, but dead serious, man. Everybody looks like you, and you're like, what the hell? It's because like everybody around the United States or the world is all collecting in one spot, which it's very beautiful for the challenge too, But anyway.
But you got to stand out amongst the rest at that point.
Oh yeah.
When you're here, it's like we already stand out.
Well, and that's where talent comes in. You know what I mean? It's just like. With directing, comedy, or anything, is you gotta have something that everybody doesn't. Everybody's trying to do the same thing, and then they all jump on the bandwagon.
Right.
But it's you got to do something different.
So how did you get Chip the Ripper involved in the movie?
Chip the Ripper.
Was that something that? Are you just a fan of his music, and you were like, bro, like I want him to be a part of this? Or
I wish.
Or he just.
I wish it was like that, but I wish I could claim that. No, but that's Hope Yee and Jay Rich, and I think this guy named Jelani, and this guy named Bug. Those three people brought Chip into my life, and I did this pilot. It was so awesome. It was a pilot. And actually, Chip Mitter over here, he actually was the sound boom and sound mixer for the pilot. And Chip gets on a set, man, and he just loves being there. And it's something about being from Ohio, bro. Like, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if it's work ethic or mentality or, they always say, like, you work well with people if, like, you grew up in Ohio or Cincinnati, they understand similar things as you. Yeah. I mean, it's something like that because, like, Chip is the most humble, awesome dude to work with. He's got a new LP coming out. I don't know if you're hip.
It's about time, bro.
Get ready, exactly. Long in the waiting. No, I actually got to go to the listening party about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, nice! I saw a video.
Oh, dude, I was there, man. Dude, it is epic, bro. Like, hey, King Chip the Ripper, man. He's my favorite. And and one thing I love about him is, man, you can't, with him and these other people, you can't sell out when you're like that, dude. He's just so good and so real that it's just like, it's unbelievable how much of an artist he is. So like with Chip, so I met him, just to give you the answer, I met him on Shootouts, but he was casted by Hope Yee and Jay Rich and a few others that we mentioned. And I just clicked with him, bro. He wanted to come the next day to set, and then he just got involved because I think he saw the fellow artistship and also knew I wasn't stopping. Yeah. And he liked that, But, he was just so freaking awesome to work with that I was like, hey, and that's what it is. Like, if you like working with people, you'll just continue to work with them. Like, look at Adam Sandler. Some of those people in his movies are his like friends from childhood.
Oh yeah.
Just because he likes working with them. Look at Martin Scorsese. He has like 2 actors that he works with, Robert De Niro and Leonardo DiCaprio, and they're both in the movie that he's about to release. So like, it's just like, dude, you know what it took to get there, and you know what you had to do, and I don't forget who the fuck was there with you on the sidelines or just right on the battlefield lines with you. And you know, Chip's one of those guys, and
I
I've
love
got
that.
I've got many of those, and you know, and Chip, man, he's never given up on me either. Like, you know, that guy, dude, he just went. I was calling him. I texted him like 2 days ago. Man, I'm in Korea. I'm like, what? Him and Cuddy were performing in Korea.
That's fire.
You know what I
That
mean?
is
Like, so like
fire.
the guy is,
So dope.
dude, man, you know,
So
and
dope.
he's such an artist. That's really what is awesome. I mean, he told me the story one time, and hope you don't mind me telling this story, but he was telling me this one story when he was in high school. Him and Cuddy, I think like they were friends too through their parents. Both their parents are like school teachers or something like
Yeah.
that, if I'm correct. But Chip the Rip told me the story about him and Cuddy being in a mall, and Chip was signing autographs, like for CDs, or I don't know if it was CD time, or I think it was CDs back in the day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you know, and Cuddy would be like, man, everybody at the time, everybody was wanting Chip to sign autographs, and Cuddy was like, man, I just, you know, I wanna, you know, he was getting big. It was right before he got big, and you know, he really wanted to become big. Cuddy did, and you know, he manifested that shit.
Sure did.
And guess what? He became the biggest artist in the world. at
100%,
one- you
bro.
know, and Cuddy sells out stadiums. You know, and you know, Chip would tell me this awesome hero story about that, and when Chip would say it, it's just so awesome to hear Chip say it, because Chip is an artist. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that is like if truest form of art that I have seen, and he does it for the art. Like, I've seen this guy, you know, he hasn't had a label yet. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
he hasn't had a label yet, man. This guy does it for himself, and that's exactly we came back full circle. I mean, you got to make the art for you, you know.
Oh yeah.
And you know, you got to make your T-shirts for you, you know.
Yes.
Blah blah blah.
There
But,
for those who
uh,
want you, not for those who don't.
Yeah.
That's how I view it. Like, do it for those who want you,
perfect.
because
Well,
it's
well
you.
said.
Because it's for you, and you know what you want. Those will come. They'll come to you. You
Yeah.
build it, they will come. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's kind of how I view everything, because I know that I'm like, I also like the idea of like, shoot for Mars and we'll land on the thing.
Oh, yeah,
and like,
yeah.
and like, I know if we shoot far enough, someone's gonna come
No,
into
exactly.
our, someone's gonna come into our universe, and it's gonna be over because they're gonna tell people that this universe exists.
Yep.
And it's snowball effect. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I
so
can-
Chip is awesome.
I can really see like that Ohio thing, just like the work ethic of like the Midwest, like
Yeah.
really just putting in, because it's, you know, the people that do break out and finally make it to LA or make it on the scene or make it in social media, like they don't want that momentum to stop, right? So they're gonna, at least people that work hard are gonna keep doubling down
Oh,
on it.
100%. And, you know, I come from a trades family. I'm glad you brought this up. So I come from a trades family. So, like,
Nice.
my family business is Cook Plumbing. And my dad is a construction worker. Like, he builds bridges. He's in Alaska right now. He builds bridges.
That's
And,
incredible, bro.
But with their work mentality that, you know, from the trades, you know, you could do anything. All right? If you're willing to, you know, I don't know if you know what plumbers intake, like being a laborer for a plumber where you're digging, you know,
Yeah.
Trenches,
seven,
bro.
8 foot holes,
Yeah.
or you're building bridges.
Yeah.
You know, these
My
Hollywood people are
brother does it,
complaining
so.
about what they're eating for lunch, you know, and it's
Yeah.
just like,
Yeah.
well, you know, carpenters got to bust their ass and then they got to bring their own lunch. So, you know, so when I went out to Hollywood, you know, like I was running circles around these people.
Oh yeah.
You know, and then things that they would complain about wouldn't even cross my fucking mind.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? I'm like, damn.
Next.
All
Yeah.
right, but no. Cook Plumbing is my roots, and my uncle. So my brother, he works. He's gearing up to take over for Cook Plumbing. He's a plumber, and the business right now is ran by my uncle, and my uncle is so awesome. His name's Bob Cook, and my brother's Bobby Cook, but Big Bob, as we call it, he's so awesome. Like, you know, like people will complain about like what it takes to get work and stuff, and he'll bring up, you know, me, like in LA. Like there was times when I'd be at set and like where I'd be at the lowest of lows, like, you know, like background or PA and sets, but I would like, there was one time that my uncle loved bringing up to clients, like where like I had to walk all night, like I had to walk 17 miles to get to work. I think I was doing I was doing something small on this set of The Circle with Tom Hanks, but I had to walk 17 miles. I left the night before to get there. I didn't have a car at the time, so I had to take the bus, and the bus didn't run after a certain time to this area. But it like literally took me. But I wanted it so bad that I fucking went and I walked 17 miles to get to work. And my uncle tells people that his clients that he just tells a story. Like when people say they don't want, they can't get work or whatever. It's like, well, my nephew walked 17 miles to get.
Damn straight.
And I was so honored when he was telling people that story. I was like, damn, Uncle Bob, awesome.
I mean, here's the crazy part is the fact that you walking 17 miles was probably such a low point in your life because you're like, fuck, I don't have a car, I don't have this, but like you're so like driven to get there that you're willing to walk those 17 miles, and you're not realizing that you're setting a precedent for the rest of your life, bro. You know what I mean? And for the fact that like your uncle saw that and said, hey, like you got to be out there and willing to get it.
No,
like
100%. Like, dude, I didn't
mean?
even see it like that when he was talking to me like that. I never even saw like that until he said it. And then once he said it, I felt exactly what you said.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
I heard it for the first time. Like, damn, he's right. I wanted it more than everybody. You know what I mean?
You're setting the bar in a different way. You know what I mean? You're setting the bar, which is really crucial to like your base, like determination of what you want. You know what I mean? Like
no, 100%, dude. My dad is telling me stories like, all right, he built like the 5 bridges in downtown Cincinnati. He helped build it used to be called Horseshoe Bend, but then it became Jack's Casino. Now it's the Hard Rock. He built that casino.
That's incredible.
It was one of the people, he was a carpenter, on that. And he has a story that's so awesome about like he would always pack like a bagel and an apple, and he would at one time he's at lunch break and there's a fence in between, but this homeless man comes up to him, and my dad, he packs an apple and a bagel, and this homeless guy comes up to him and is like, hey, would you guys be able to spare any food? And my dad's like, all right, I can give you my bagel, and this is all my dad's got to bust ass for 8 to 12 hours, but he's like, I'll give you my bagel. My dad's like that, and he gives him the bagel, and the homeless guy goes like, man, you ain't got any sour cream cream cheese?
Yeah.
And my dad's like, what? But he's such a good dude to be able to do that. But it's just so funny what people expect, from homeless to like to even these Hollywood people, and I love Hollywood. I think it's very awesome that when you're on these sets, especially the big budgets, they treat you like kings, man. It don't matter if you PA background, at the lowest to low, you're eating like a king. Like, they give you the big trailers, they give you the star treatment, and I think it's important for the movies to do that, but it's just the mentality, like getting used to that, like you don't want to, like when you've been hungry all your life, and then when you're finally starting to eat, you're like, damn, I'm afraid of eating now. You know what I mean? Like that's a crazy feeling to be in, right?
Yeah,
like you're afraid to eat, because you want to make sure that you can still, make the
still gotta stay
right
hungry.
art, exactly. Yeah. So that's a weird thing to be in.
It's a like a limbo state. You're between that. You're seeing the what your goals are, but you still have to like keep that drive going.
Dude, that's just like getting drafted into the majors, right? Like NBA, MLB, NFL, you got drafted, like
that's where the work begins.
Your work begins today. Like like you didn't make it, your shit starts today.
Yeah. And like I like to say, like it's not on topic, but it kind of is on topic. So like when people worry about like how long it takes and how old you are, and like you're over the curtain, like over the hill, and it takes this much time because like we're aiming for the goal and it takes years and years and years.
Yeah.
Well, an NFL head coach, they don't even get really considered for the job until they're 45.
Yeah.
That's a start.
Oh, 100%.
And that's one of the most, like idolized jobs, on the planet.
Yeah.
And it's NFL head coach, and they only start at 45 and on. So like to think you're behind when that is the goal profession in a lot of people's minds, and you don't even start at 45, and you're a baby, like infant stage at that point.
On the same point,
yeah.
I mean, do you guys know how old Samuel Jackson was when he got his first big break?
He was in his 40s, right?
In his 40s,
Yeah.
man. I mean, the same girl with the girl who wrote Harry Potter. It's like, you know, it's like, dude, people get
Morgan
that
Freeman.
number. Yeah, people get that number too attached. Like, oh, I gotta, get it early. You know, it really what you'll get it when you're ready.
When it's right,
You know,
when it's
and,
time.
and
It's
when
time,
when
yeah.
it, and that's I think it's so important. I think actually it should take longer. You know, I'm working with this young filmmaker right now, and he heard, he said something about like. I think the exact quote was, I hope the next one doesn't take as long. And I tell him, man, no, I hope it does.
Yeah.
Because you got to, I mean, dude, people just don't understand. It's not everybody wants to get on set. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to get on set in the red carpet. The only 2 times that you care about a director is when he's casting a role and he's releasing a movie. Other than that, nobody gives a fuck about the film director, and that's dead serious.
Yeah.
You know, but that's the whole point. Is, dude, you gotta let it
Sounds
marinate.
like a promoter.
You know,
It sounds like a promoter at a
exactly.
music venue. It's literally
No, it
what you
is.
just explained. They only care about when they're trying to get the gig.
Yep.
And then when the time comes and they need everything to run in order.
Yep.
But after that, like, the promoter is like lost in translation unless they try to make it about them, which happens.
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
but like at the end of the day, like, you are just there to set them up and let them land. That's really it.
And then 100%.
That's part of the
And
game,
I don't
yeah.
think you can let yourself get into it. I think you have to destroy your ego in a way.
Yeah,
Where it's like, I
Leave
mean,
it at the door,
I
man.
want, and that's this thing about a director too is like it's not about people don't a lot of times. Did you guys know who Mike Nichols was before I brought him up today?
No.
And the point is, have you guys ever heard of The Graduate?
Absolutely.
Yes.
So the point with being a director is not about being famous. Like, I mean, that's like where movie stars and rock stars come in. It's like, their personal image is their business.
Right.
When it comes to directors, like, what I want is the private eye to be seen by everybody, our art piece. And when people, like other people talk about, your art, that's something very important. Even the way you pitched our movie today, I remember I saw the ad for it, and I was like, man, dang, dude, like I have no control over like how you pitch it, and that is the most awesome feeling to me because of like you brought it up. It had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It was all on you. You know what I mean? So it was very awesome to be, to experience that, and I'm very happy to be on here. This is actually my first. Podcast ever. I have done a few smaller, but this is the first ever podcast for and intended for the private eye, and I really thank you, Jay and Andrew, for inviting me on.
Dude,
Just to,
we appreciate
repeat
you,
that.
man. It's a big milestone for us as well. You know what I mean? Like we this is our 84th podcast, bro.
Awesome.
And I
Good,
really
good number.
I really feel like it's the best one we've got, and it's out of 184, bro.
Man,
it's
thank you.
like,
That means a lot, right there.
I mean, it's just where you're going to be at in 10 years. We're going to be able to show everybody we knew. You know what I mean? Like we knew that this dude was going to be somebody big. Like you've got your blinders on, man. And like I really think one of the big reasons why you can stay focused and you've got that longevity is because you've got that family. You got Rose and
Support.
the kids,
yeah,
right?
support.
Yeah.
100% right.
You know,
100% right on
Support's
that.
huge, man.
And that's the thing, man. Like, without that better half, like, Caitlin see me at my worst, bro. She see me when I've gone home, and I told her, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I had this event that I did. I got a stint with Procter & Gamble where they saw what I was doing, they loved it, and they said, hey, we want to open up a store. We want to put native in there. And it was only supposed to be a 3-month gig. So after 3 months, they moved my clothes out and they moved another brand in. But they loved the brand so much they kept me in there for the full year.
Oh, wow.
So at the end of it, when the whole thing was ending, I threw this big party where I spent like $600 on the world's largest graffiti on clothes. It was a Guinness Book of World Records.
Awesome.
And I paid the graffiti artist he's like a famous graffiti artist now, but the big mural that's on the outside of the building here, he did as well.
Yeah. Where's the shirt at? Just curious now.
Well, I still have all 30 of the shirts because
Wow.
what happened was I threw the event, I spent the money, and nobody showed up. It was just one of those days where there was a thunderstorm coming in, and like I was trying to show Procter & Gamble like this is the finale, right? Like I wanted everyone to be down there so they saw and that, you know, I could take it to the next level.
Yep.
Nobody showed up. Well, like I think 6 or 7 people did. Really close friends of mine who all made sure to be there. But I went home to Kaylin and I didn't have a ton of money, so like I spent everything I had on that graffiti, and I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore, man. Like, you know, the W's are great, but the L's, that like there's nobody to blame but me, right? I can't blame it on this person. I can't blame it on that person.
Awesome this spot to be in my opinion.
It is, bro. And that moment,
I
so
agree.
like I broke down to her, and I went to the store the next day. I pulled all the clothes out, and I was sitting in my car, and I was on Facebook, and I'm posting this complete lie. Thank you so much for last night. It's such an amazing time. It was such a great experience. Thanks for everyone for showing up. And in my heart, I'm like, the clothing brand is done. As of today, I was closing shop, and then I get a knock on the window, bro. I look over, and it's the GM of the store that I just pulled my clothes out of. And she just goes like this. She points over, and it's Emilio Estevez.
Oh, yeah.
And Emilio's like, dude,
Cincinnati King right there, bro.
Yeah, Emilio, he was like, what are you doing, dude? So I hop out of the car, and I shake his hand. He was in the store the night before and bought one of the native hats.
Awesome.
Loved it, and went back there to buy hats for his whole family.
Oh, wow.
And they weren't there. So I happened to be sitting on the street. So
wow,
I sold him like $300 worth of clothes out of the trunk of my car.
That's God right there.
And I told him, bro, I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this is like some divine intervention, Pulp Fiction shit.
Man,
because
dude.
like I was 10 minutes ago, I was giving up, and like he put his hand, he gave me a hug, put his hand on my shoulder, and fucking prayed with me, dude.
Man, dude, that's what I'm talking about, man. That right there makes me so happy because, like, dude, it's the times when, like I said, the devil's knocking on that door. If you can learn how to smile at those points, man, and like, because like now at the time you could not smile, man. You were at the lowest lows, and I've been there
I was
too.
broke, dude.
I've been there too, bro.
Yeah.
But like, dude, you know, now you can smile, man, because you already did that. You know what I mean? You've been through that. You know, a young kid like you, there's a young kid just like you and me, you know, wants to be a filmmaker or make a whole brand, and you know they're going to go through those things, you know, and they don't want to, and we don't want them to, but you have to, bro.
100%.
And Emilio, man, give that guy a shout out because, dude,
that
guy
dude,
represents Cincinnati like they talk about Hollywood in Cincinnati. Like that's one
Royalty,
guy who
bro.
really did it, man. And I think I read an article about him saying that Cincinnati's like the Paris of United States, which I agree, bro, too. Like, you know, with the art style and the architecture, I mean, Cincinnati's like hard to beat.
He loves OTR, bro. He bought a house down in the middle of OTR, and he's always out there just bouncing around. But he's such a good dude, man. Like, we still keep in touch to this day. Like, you know, he's he didn't. I don't think he realizes how important that moment was, right?
Dude.
Like, it's just one of those things, man, where it's like all you're doing is just giving somebody a hug and telling somebody you'll be okay. But at that moment, like, I needed that. Yeah.
Oh, it's everything.
And so from what we were talking about like an hour ago, like, you've got the W's and you got the L's, bro. Like ever since that moment, like, I don't look at L's as losses. I look at them as learning experiences.
And that's exactly what they are.
When you realize an L is not a loss and it's a learning experience, it literally will change your entire outlook on life. Which is another L, you know, like, literally, it's crazy because, like, as soon as you see that, like, loss is not like a give up moment, but like, oh,
it's a learning experience.
I can do it better next time, and next time I'm gonna have more money to be able to put into it because I know I'm not gonna fail again. So then your money, like, and everything you're putting into it just gets exponentially better because, you know, it's like confidence. That confidence comes with the L's. Confidence doesn't come with the wins because nothing changes.
And you know what's so funny is young artists, and I'm so glad we're talking about this subject because it's so funny that young artists, dude, all they want to do is win. I mean, I remember me being young artist. I don't want to fucking lose.
Never.
Nobody goes to lose. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, you go to fucking win. And, you know, I think it's important for podcasts like this and, you know, other podcasts to realize, no, man, like, it's all about getting dirty with it. And, like, you got to realize you got to be a monster and you got to want it more than everybody. And that's the only thing. Time, you know what makes Hollywood? You know who makes it in Hollywood? People that don't give
People
up.
that don't give up,
Yeah.
bro.
And that's who makes it in Hollywood, man. That's who makes it in the fucking life.
Yeah.
You know, fuck Hollywood. That makes it. That's
In
who.
general, yeah.
In general, man. The people that don't give
Yeah.
up, they're the ones that are still here, man. You know?
For a long time, bro, I called myself the clown because like I'm that sandbag clown that you punch in the face.
It comes right back
Comes
up.
right
I
back,
like
bro.
that. I
Like,
like it. I
it's-
like it.
Like
yeah.
I'll gladly be the punching clown because I'm not going anywhere.
No,
you
no,
know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
You could do whatever the fuck you want, but you gonna still see me right here.
I'm gonna come right back for another one, bro.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
you'll miss, maybe you won't, but I'll be
Hey,
back for another one.
I'll be back, man.
Yeah.
Rocky Balboa, man, and that's what it is, bro.
Literally, I love that you just said that because like at the end of the day, we continue to come back. I mean, this store was built on the pandemics, the heart of it. Like we talked originally about the lab. Like we give a passing on like the creation of the lab. Like if it was not for the world shutting down and us in panic mode, because I remember you mentioning like we need to go online. And my original thing was like they just said 2 weeks because he said earlier in the
The private eye relies on COVID
yeah
as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
You said earlier like how it was going to just not be long.
Oh, yeah,
long.
yeah,
We're
no,
like,
we
it'd
just
be
gotta-
all right.
2 weeks. Yeah,
we
like
just gotta soften the curve.
we
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
exactly. And then if we remember right, like we look back and like we were like, well, what's something to release? And you're like, well, I have the eyeball design. I
Yeah.
have the mad scientist, and then the lab formed from that point forward. But like, if it weren't for that low of just panic mode, because I was working down at the bowling alley below as a
Yeah.
manager, but like, I mean, my job was in question too. This is the bar industry. Like, I mean, there's furloughment and there's different ways to go about it, like on like a salary level, but like. This is the pandemic. We don't know what. I mean, we were selling
Dude.
to-go beers out of a window. Like that's all it was. Like
Oh, 100%.
it was crazy, and then here we are
Yeah, hey, when the world is weak,
from a 24-hour lease to a 5-year lease, bro.
same thing with the
It's
private
crazy.
eye, dude. When the world is weak, the strong eat, and that's another thing. People,
I like that.
even with like this strikes and everything going on, it's just
Yeah.
like, dude, you got to understand. Like, yeah, you know who's in panic mode at these points? Are the fucking billion-dollar companies? You know what I mean?
the
Like they're-
production companies.
So like what happens when they're involved? Well, the people who have to get more strategic and the people that haven't been given a fucking chance, they're the ones that supreme and they fucking like they overcome. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even like I mean we've talked about Matt a lot, which I know I'm going to talk about for the next 6 months.
Yeah,
a lot,
you just
but
getting
like,
started with that
but
one.
well, and this is the start of Matt too. Like I mean, Matt's going to be doing studio shit from now on. But he got his start in COVID too. Like he never wanted to do TikTok and shit. Like I'll let him speak for himself.
Sure,
but like
sure,
you know,
sure.
he didn't want to do that stuff, and then he did it. And then guess what? Like it happened for
Yep.
him. Like
Yep.
that motherfucker had to invest in his own. I remember I always wish I could have. You know. But I remember when he was just finding investors for his OnlyFans, stand up. You know what I mean? Like you got to do it yourself. Like, all right, Mike Nichols, man, who I want people to remember off of this. Mike Nichols, man, he's a very amazing director and everything. And the people that know him, he never wanted to he never wanted anybody to write books about him or anything like that. But he found like Whoopi Goldberg. He made Whoopi Goldberg famous. Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford, like a lot of big. Oh, dude, the guy's an OG. He worked
Dusty?
horizontal. Oh, he worked Dustin Hoffman before The Graduate did like a. I think maybe it was like a supporting role in a TV show before that and some plays. But, Mike fought for him. And, the whole thing with it, with Mike and, working horizontal, I forget the fucking point that I was coming up with. Sorry, guys. Like
you're
the
good.
beer,
the working horizontal.
Oh, yeah.
That you've got me.
Wooden
you've got me
cask is working.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They crushed the game.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
all shout outs. All shout outs. This is
The
what we're here
blonde
for.
girl next door. But working horizontal.
Working horizontal. That is like,
And that's what
you
Mike
got my
did,
wheels
too.
turning
Because you got to.
horizontally. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? Like,
you
it's-
got to, bro.
yeah.
Everybody always
But
wants
that's
to hire
how.
to.
But that's how I seem like my life in general is how I've been doing
Oh,
things for such a long time. Like,
yeah.
Like, I mean, there's just so many things I've been doing for such a long time because the consistency, which is horizontal. I'm not working vertical at all. That's the case.
Yeah.
And it's just fascinating to like think that they're like that's a tangible way of saying what I personally am doing.
Dude,
myself.
and everybody
crazy.
should do,
Yeah.
because if you want something new, you have to work
Yeah,
horizontal.
but it's hard for me
You
to
can't
see in
work-
other people's lives. I'm only seeing it in my world. You know what I mean? Because I'm engulfed in what I'm doing. But like, and I've been very engulfed. I was in a metal band. I did the get home from work and literally individual message people that all did that, like liked bands that were similar to what we were. So I would like go home and I'd personalize messages.
I'm still doing
like-
that, by the
from,
way.
like 2 to
so you guys, you know,
yeah,
you
I
still do it.
I don't do it as much anymore because I
Yeah.
don't have the same kind of thing to sell. But like at the
Yeah.
time, like I'd be like,
Oh,
"What's up?
yeah.
What's up, Jessica?
Yeah.
Like I see you like Black Veil Brides. Our drummer's actually from Black Veil Brides. That's awesome. He was actually a part of this song. I personalized every message for like 5,000 Facebook messages. But like at the end of the day, that just brought people.
Yeah.
It put asses in seats.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? All because of the grind. And like
Yeah.
I didn't even think of it as a grind at the time. We were using the
No,
word
this is what
grind.
you had to do,
This
man.
wasn't
This
working
was
the grind.
Yeah, yeah.
There was no grind word. It wasn't the terminology. It was just like you do it or you don't.
Yep.
And like at the time too, like that's how, because Instagram wasn't as popular like at all. Like this is like 2013 ish. So like I would use that as like to reach out to like directors or record label like A&R reps, because Instagram I would just go to the second in charge and I would message them.
Mhm.
I'm like, hey, this is my band. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
Here's what we're touring next. This is what we're trying to do. This blah 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 blah. Here's what I do. We also have a nonprofit. Yada yada yada. And like, I would just go to them through Instagram, and now Instagram's like the go-to.
Yeah.
For a long time, it was,
Instagram is.
yeah, but it's
dude.
changed. It was
Oh,
different. It was
oh,
used to
100%.
be emails,
Yeah.
and a get a text message like a phone number.
Instagram is like the business of social media.
It became different.
Yeah.
And then like you mentioned like TikTok famous now, but like
Yeah.
it's kind of all going to
Well,
reels.
TikTok is still the cool thing. Like that's
Yeah.
not Instagram is the
TikTok-
business.
It was Vine back then. It was
Oh, yeah, it
even
was
before Vine.
Dude, TikTok.
Dude,
I mean, like
crazy changes.
Yeah, and you brought up a great fucking thing that we need to talk about is that you know, it doesn't matter like who you think is famous and who you think is famous or not famous. Okay, like
yes.
you know, like
Yes,
the,
yes,
the
yes.
people who determine who
It's
is
great.
famous are
Yeah.
teenagers and 20-year-olds.
Yes.
So if you're over a teenager and a 20-year-old, you do not know who the fuck is famous,
Yes.
and you should fucking like
I-
understand that. You know what I mean?
I've got a great point to bridge off this. This is
Please,
amazing. Yeah.
please, please.
So people come in the store all the time, and they ask me. This is come up a lot. They ask me, who is the most famous person that you've interviewed? They love that. I'm sure they've asked you a million times. And I'm like, well, famous to me is not necessarily this famous to whatever, like to the average person. I see the famous person, and I always bring Greg Hamilton up as he was at the time, and I was like, I think him, and like he's a ring announcer for WWE SmackDown and whatever. But we interviewed Bengals players and other people, and I was like, I think him, and they're like, why him? Like that's really cool, but it was like he's a ring announcer. I was like, yeah. I was like, who does he have in his cell phone
There you go.
that'll pick up?
Yeah, there you go.
That determines who's the most famous to me. Like who on that scale?
Yeah.
Who's in his cell phone? And that's the bar.
Yeah.
Because if it's in a cell phone and the Rock will pick up, because he even said he's like, I can call the Rock right now. Like where it is what it is. They were all in such enclosed counters of WWE that just the world he's in, and like that is the top of the food chain. Yeah, the football players and these people that they're watching on TV are obviously in their train of their eyes, their vision, but like the outside of that, no, fame is a totally different. Like it's like horizontal. It's different directions.
Oh,
like there's someone
100%.
sitting in the background that's famous than everybody, but only people that know him are the ones that need to know him.
Yeah.
Know her. Whatever.
Oh yeah,
So,
no,
yeah,
there'll be so many of the
Yeah.
young cats who like will tell me people, and I don't know who the hell they're talking about, but guarantee they can bring more people to a show than
Absolutely,
bro. Brad Pitt. Sorry,
You
Brad.
gotta-
I don't mean to talk down. I love you.
You got to keep you got to keep your ear to the ground, man, because it's like every
Oh,
time
ear to
somebody's
the
coming in
ground.
here, there's a new music artist, there's
Yep.
a new actor, there's
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I mean, and like
Yeah.
and like you said, it's always the teenagers, the 20-year-olds, like they're the ones that
They make people
that
famous.
see it first.
They can.
Yeah, yeah,
They can.
and,
They
uh,
can tilt. They can.
They
tilt
they
the
can,
scale,
they
yeah.
do, man. Elvis is famous because of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, it is the truest statement in the world. Like, if you're over 30, man, like you don't know who the fuck is famous. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you're thinking of like that's like 10, 20 years ago already. You know what I mean? Dude, I
Shit, bro.
got a guy. So I had, and today, so believe it or not, on October 27th, we're opening our doors at Illusion Island's headquarters in Cincinnati. It's at 5 Village Square.
All
We're
right,
having a
yeah.
giant party. But today
All
we
ages.
all ages are welcome, and it's open to the public. But something beautiful was we actually had our first renter today. Somebody shot a music video. Jax, the artist's name was Jax. The filmmaker's name was Payne. They're both. Payne is a Cincinnati filmmaker, man, and he has a lot of love, like we just talked about, where it's local talent, and they did the first music video ever at Illusion Islands, and I just wanted to shout them out for
Hey.
today.
For sure,
you know what I
bro.
mean? That was
Yeah.
big news. Just
so
before I
cool.
came here, I told them, I was like, you called me, like, this interview was a little last minute, and I like it like that. I Marlon Brando that shit,
Bro, I
didn't know
love
any
it,
of the
man. You were like,
lines.
you were like,
know.
no, bro, I can't do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've got a.
Well, there was an event.
event.
And then I found out who made the movie. If the person who invited me made the movie, I would have had to go. But I looked it up, and I thought it was that. I thought it was a documentary that a friend made that you both know. And I was like, oh, all right. And I'll give them a shout out. So, like, we have Amy Majerski. I hope she don't mind me talking about this. Amy Majerski from Lotus Shark did a documentary, and it's working on coming out. And I thought that's what I was was invited to.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was like, no offense to Jamie Foxx. I love you. But it was a Jamie Foxx movie coming out, and I was like, man, I can definitely talk
Skip
about
that. To
talk about the
come
private
over
eye.
here to see
Talking
us.
native, exactly. Hey, I'm
let's
100%, man. But definitely check out Lotus Shark and Amy Majerski's latest documentary that's coming out. It's an awesome documentary, and I can't wait to hear more about it. But keeping an ear to the ground for that.
Yeah, bro, for
Sick.
sure. And I thank you, bro, for giving me flowers early. You know what I mean?
Dude,
We're trying to.
Dude, native, man, we're going big, bro. Like, this is just the beginning of everything we talked about today. All the artists, it's just the beginning. And if I was able to talk about one more thing, not to like talk too much, is what's so awesome is I wanted to give a big shout out to our lead actress, Claire Grant. And I'm not sure if you guys know her, but she's a phenomenal actress, and I'm in love with her. Like, what's so funny about being a director is, like, I watch these people about 1,000 to 1,000,000 times in the editing booth, and so I think I know these people.
For sure.
I don't, in reality, like, I've met them maybe, every day that they're on set, and maybe 15 days before, but I'm in love with them because I think I know them, but I'm in love with the character. But
Yeah.
I definitely want to give flowers to, like, Claire Grant. She was perfect for the role. She's the lead actress in The Private Eye. She's literally perfect. I was introduced to her through Matt Rife, and Matt obviously knew she was perfect for the role. And but I definitely want people to check out Claire Grant. I definitely, from this interview, everybody go follow The Private Eye Movie on Instagram and Facebook. We're on TikTok. We start videos in the next week, and we're going to be on YouTube and video. But we've been releasing a lot of behind the scenes content on Instagram and Facebook, and man, people have been loving it. Like, our Instagram love has really been there. So, but hey, I definitely want both you, Jay, and you, Andrew. You guys are both invited October 27th from 6 to 10 p.m. at 5 Village Square in Glendale, right in the town square. Let's tear it up. We're about to release some native T-shirts, man. The next native series,
Yes,
right?
sir.
They-
It's definitely the biggest order that we've done so far, man. I didn't realize, obviously the logo was very intricate. I do want to give a shout out to
Steve Chorney,
Steve
man.
Chorney,
Steve
man.
Chorney. Let's just talk about him for a second because,
Yeah.
like, dude, like, what was awesome about, like, and it kind of helped with Matt blowing up too. And we have one other guy on the behind the scenes that blew up to become a president of a big studio that I can't wait to tell his name and share his name in the next few weeks. But, you know, I'm really proud to be able to work with Steve Chorney, and he created the movie poster, which is on the shirt. Steve Chorney did movie posters like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Great Escape. I mean, he's a freaking legend. And, you know, I really, you know, I can't wait for the day to Steve Chorney to be in this seat and talk to you, because, man, that guy, man,
Dude,
he has
I
more
would love
stories
it.
than me, bro. Like, he'll tell you some shit that I can't even fathom. You know?
I'm ready for it, man. Because when you sent me the logo, obviously like we get the super high depth,
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
like once you
Giant
pull it up
version.
on the computer, and it's like when you showed it to me on the phone, it's like it's a really dope looking poster, but it looks like photos, right?
Yeah.
And then once I open up on my computer, I'm like, holy shit! This whole thing is drawn with
Yeah.
with pencil, bro.
No, that's what he did. It's like mostly black and white
amazing.
pencil.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like that Steve Chorney did.
Yeah,
You know.
he killed that.
No,
every piece, because you showed there's multiple versions.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
if
he
you're
don't-
making a movie right
Yeah.
now, you need to hire Steve Chorney to make your movie poster, and there's no question about it.
And that was such a power move on your end, bro, because that ties in that private eye. Like, I know what you're going for. You're going for that 80s style, like,
No,
you know,
hey,
like,
well, can
like
I tell
movie.
this story? I didn't tell it yet, right?
here
like,
for it.
So I call up. So I'm like, man, I'm thinking exactly what you're saying. I'm like, hey, man, for the private eye, I want something that's like a drawing, but it looks so real. Like, I was going for like the old Indiana Jones movies
Yeah.
posters. So I call up the guy. Shoot, I'm blanking on his name. Man, he's a legend. He did like some of the Star Wars movie posters and the Indiana Jones posters. And I call him up and I'm like, hey, man, my name's Jack Cook. I'm making this movie called The Private Eye. I want something that's like a neo-noir, like a drawn movie poster. And he's like, hey, man, listen, I'm 84 or 81, 84 years old. I'm retired. You know, you got to call the one person to help you is this guy. And it was Steve. So I called Steve, and man, we just kicked it from day one. And Steve, man, he's high in demand. Like, that guy, I mean, he's doing not only big ass movie posters like The Great Escape and, you know, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and, you know, Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull. He's doing Super Bowl commercial stuff. You know what I mean? He's like high in demand. And just the fact that he messed with us enough, and what I think he, you know, I can't speak for anybody. You know, I'm talking a lot about other actors and, you know, filmmakers, but, you know, one thing that I think he saw in me was like, man, I'm an artist, man, and he's an artist, and he's, when I talk to him, he's like, man, usually I'm speaking to studio execs, and so I don't really get to talk to the director or whatever. So like, he really liked that aspect, and I'll never forget. Like, I remember I emailed my partner Elliot, and I emailed directly. We emailed Claire Grant, the lead actress, Matt Rife, the lead actor, and Eric Roberts, who's a big actor. He's one of the
Julia
big,
Roberts' brother. Let's go.
Oh, Eric Roberts, man, he's my brother, and he was famous well before
Keaton.
Julia. Keaton, you know all about Keaton. Hey, man, Simon,
Shout out to Keaton Simons, bro.
Shot out, and Eliza Roberts and Emma Roberts. You know, like they dude, Eric changed my life, man. Eric was always like, you know, I've been on these, you know, I'm making my own budgets, and Eric's like, dude, Jack, I can't wait till you got a budget. You know what I mean? Because like, wait till you see what I can do with the budget. That's what Eric always tells me.
That's
And I'm
so
like,
dope. That's awesome.
And I'm like, yeah, dude, Eric, you know it, bro. And you know, Eric's fought for me many times, bro. Like, that guy's a badass. But you know, just what was the point we're talking about? I'm so sorry about forgetting it. Fuck. But man, just like all these actors, man. I guess I can't remember the point, so I'll just say they're all fucking badass. That's all I'm saying.
I'll tell you what, man. One thing that you need to do is do a like a before and after of like the photo that you sent Steve, and then what
dude,
he sent back.
I'm planning. Oh, I'm so glad I showed you that. So like,
It's
Steve. Oh, that's what
incredible,
we're
bro.
talking about. Steve, man. Like, dude, Steve. So I'm so glad you brought that up. When I have the opening on October 27th. I will make sure to print out what I sent him and what he sent me for sketches wise, because man, it is night and day, and that's a great artist. All right, I'm so glad you brought this up. So you work with really talented people. They can do things you can't even think of.
Bro, he
right?
literally
You
you put a 2-dimensional sketch together with just
circle heads. That's the best way to say it. Yeah, circle stick figures. I'll take it.
And he sent you back. I'm assuming exactly what was in your brain.
Oh my!
It's
more
insane.
Better than what's in my brain.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Better what's in my brain.
And he sent you 3 of them.
Yeah, no.
Which is crazy, bro.
No, Steve, man, like, if you're making a movie and you have somebody other than Steve doing your movie, like, I could tell the difference. All right? Like, there's even other, like, dude, there's so many, like, I remember I'm working with a producer right now, and he's like, man, dude, I've never met somebody who spent more money on a movie poster. And, like, but in the same sentence, he's like, well, I've never seen a better movie poster.
Bro, it's,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's the perfect movie poster for that movie. I haven't seen the movie. I saw the trailer, but like it's the perfect juxtaposition, bro. It's everything just kind of like flows together.
Thank you.
And the fact that you said it's like the Indiana, it's the fucking Indiana Jones poster, bro. It's spot on.
It is 100%, 100%.
It's fucking, bro. It's so cool, man. And I love that.
Kind of gave me Stranger Things vibe.
Well,
like,
I didn't even think of that, but I like that.
The
So,
big
well,
poster,
this is a good question. I mean, hey, seeing the movie poster, what is the movie about? One at a time. Let me hear that. That's a good question.
It is a good question because that's what you want. You want the movie poster to tell a story, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So
I mean, you've seen the movie poster a lot, Jay. You've been.
I've been staring at that bitch. Like,
he has.
So obviously it looks like it's in a library, right? Because it's got all the books on each
Those
side.
Those are movies, by the way. It's a movie store. I'll reveal that. But yeah, it's not a bookstore. It's a movie store.
Okay.
Yeah.
But everyone's reactions on, because the movie poster's got probably 10 or 11 actors on it.
Yep.
And every one of them it's pretty much the exact scene from like the trailer that you showed me. So you've got like, you've got a cop that's got his gun drawn. You've got it looks like maybe a drug dealer who's like the white guy with long blonde hair. Like, to me, he looks like the drug dealer of the.
That's Elliot, by the way, from Coleraine LaSalle. Elliot Hebler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a Cincinnati boy.
He looks familiar too, bro. I wonder if that kid's popped in the store.
He's been in a few things, man. You might have seen him in the store, but he's also been in, like, I think one of his biggest thing was like, man, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it's something like My Crazy Ex. I think that's like, I don't know if you heard of that TV show, but he's been in that. Yeah. He was one of the crazy exes.
Oh shit. You know what, man? I think I might have actually met him on. You said Elliot?
Elliot Hebler.
I think I might have met him on Hillbilly Elegy. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't seen it. I know all about it from Lynn Myers. Lynn Myers casted.
Lynn Myers casting, bro.
Yeah.
She's the whip.
No. She should. Every time that I mention Doris and Nancy Collini and Christian Slotman, Lynn Myers is right there up there with her and bringing Hollywood to Cincinnati. I mean, she's bringing New York Broadway to Cincinnati. Have you been to her theater?
No.
Dude, it's called, oh man, I got to say it. I'm on spot. It's called it starts with A. Fuck, man, look this up. We gotta say this proper on this podcast.
You said Lynn Myers?
Lynn Myers Theater. She started it off-Broadway. It's like kind of like an off-Broadway theater. It's in Over the Rhine. It's called... man, dude, Lynn is one of a kind, bro. Like, she actually's from California. I don't know if you know that, but
no, I didn't.
She found her spot in L.A. I mean, just found her spot in Cincinnati and like worked it. And she's the casting director.
She's the casting agent
of Cincinnati. Lynn Myers.
Lynn Myers casting.
Embassy, not Embassy Theater. Oh, fuck. Ensemble Theater. Ensemble Theater.
He got it.
Thank you. Yeah, hey, Lynn, you hear that? I got it before they found it. Ensemble Theater. I've been there once for one of Lynn's originals that she directed, and it was fire, man. She's bringing in some like talent. She knows, like, and that's an equity theater. I don't know if you know what equity is. That is the union for theater plays.
Okay.
Like, so you got SAG-AFTRA, which is like movie, television, radio.
Yeah.
Equity is like the theater union.
Okay.
And it's an equity theater. Lynn pop that off. Like, I mean, dude, you've got, like I said, for me, it's everybody paved the way. Me, what I'm trying to do is start the party scene. Like, I'm on the fun part. Like, you know, I've been Private Eye. Everybody asks me, like, how does it feel now? It's like, just like what you said, man. Dude, I'm on the fun time, dude.
Yeah.
I busted ass for 10 years, raising money, developing, produced it, hoping that it all works out. Now it's like, now I'm just throwing big ass parties, dude. I've got another badass actress. So like we talked about Claire, I've got this other actress in the movie. It was casted through Matt. Her name's Lexi Pantera, and she is a bad ass,
the
bro.
TikTok.
She ain't, dude. She's before TikTok. She's like YouTube.
Was
like,
that the
when
the twerking?
Well, that's what people could say she got to start from. But she now is like a rapper actress. Like she was in Tyler Perry's Boo and Boo 2. Like she's
okay.
like she was an actress in those, and now she's a rapper, man. She was doing sold out shows. Oh, she just played at Bogart's, man. She was selling out shows everywhere. It was called Sorry Poppy Tour. You know what was dope about it? No men were allowed. Like, it was all
shit.
female audiences, like Sorry Poppy. Like, you know, dudes aren't
That's
allowed.
genius.
Oh, dude, she's a badass, bro. She's a
And
genius
ballsy,
marketer.
bro.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
she can do it, bro. Like,
That's crazy.
So anyway, you know, in Cincinnati, like just Cincinnati-wise, she's performing at the Woodward on February 3rd. Then you know, we'll start selling tickets. This is the first time I'm announcing it, but no, Lexi's one of a kind, bro. You gotta, you know, meet her. She's badass. You know, like
She's from Cincy as well.
no, she's I think she might be from California actually, but man, she's just a badass. You need to go check her out, Lexi Pantera. She's got some dope ass songs, like the one not to be like that. I'm telling everybody my favorite Lexi song, and she's, you know, she's definitely you know, like she's a badass, but she's definitely, you know, chicks. And, you know, my favorite song by her is called Hip Bone. And I'm like, I just admitted that. Now Lexi knows, so I'm in trouble.
You know?
But no, man, that song, man, is phenomenal. And she's just a great artist. She's got this other song that's like her hit. It's called A Bad Bitch. I'm a bad bitch. I'm a dude, and it's just everywhere right now. But she's a bad motherfucker. And but definitely you'll see her in Cincinnati February 3rd. She'll be here.
Dope, bro. Man, I gotta be honest, man. I'm impressed with everything that I've seen today, bro. Because it's like,
Thank you.
I feel like you're the type of risk maker that's willing to put your neck on the line, but you're also willing to double down on the people who you think are going to have a great career. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you don't fall back on the money guy to get to Coveney. Like, I'd rather risk it all on Matt Rife. You know, I mean, not saying that's what happened, but
It is what happened, and you know, and I wish to God, like, you know, like it, you know, like it's so funny. You wanted that original to work out, but it worked out 100 times better.
Funny how
than,
it works, bro.
Yeah, and then, you know, and I'm so glad it worked out, because like it's all about the new, man. You know, and art needs to be reminder that it's like, if you keep on trying to do what everybody else tries to do, you know what I mean? You just following a trend. You know, I got offered a movie to produce. I wasn't directing. I got offered to produce a movie. Illusion Islands did, and they were offering the lead actor $1 million. $1 million for 2 days.
oh wow,
2 6-hour days.
holy cow.
And then they offered the entire film. They wanted us to make the entire film for $300,000.
I knew you were gonna say 300 grand.
$300,000. And at first, like, you know, and I'm so glad I didn't get the job, because like at first, like, you know, dude, like, I got a family, man. You got to think about like your family, and you're like, got to make money.
Oh yeah.
So like I bid real high. Like I was like, if you want me to make a fucking $300,000 movie, and you know, the main actor's making $1 million. Like, you know, that says a lot for your lead actor right there, like how much he gives a fuck, because obviously he doesn't give a fuck at all right? He gives a fuck about his fucking wallet. I mean,
And that's it.
But he's thinking about his family too, you know what I mean? He's thinking
Well,
about,
he's thinking about his
I've got
family,
a
but he's
$20
not
million
thinking about
house.
the movie.
No, he's not thinking about the movie at all. And then, but I almost sold out, man. Like I bid real high. I was like, if you give me this much, I'll fucking make your movie for $300,000. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
like like, at the end of the day, I got like a little pirate stuff going on. Like, you can have as much morals as you want with your art, but when somebody offers you a treasure chest, you're like, man, what am I gonna fucking do? Like, that's
Yeah.
a fucking hard question right there.
Yeah.
But they didn't take my bid, and it was not even fucking 10% of whatever the fuck that lead guy, and it's like that's my company's percentage. So like it not just me,
You
and
have
they
to divvy
didn't,
it up amongst the crew.
well,
yeah.
and then they didn't take it, and I'm so glad they didn't for moments like this with the private eye. And I learned my lesson. That's a loss right there. Yeah, I lost, but I'll never sell out like that again. And I'm so glad I didn't have to do it before I
Right.
have the
you
private
had
eye
to
come
real-
out.
I mean,
Yeah.
to me, what it sounds like is
I'll never do that again. Fucking producers, fuck you that try to make me do that.
it sounds like a fast buck, right? Because all they're doing is just attaching a popular name.
Yep.
to-
Vertical,
to-
working vertical.
To it. Yeah, exactly, bro. They want to attach the big name to a movie that doesn't have the production. Like they're gonna give you the scraps because we gave you Tom Hanks, bro. We gave you Tom Hanks, so you make the movie. Like
yeah.
Tom Hanks is in it, it's gonna be a winner. It's like, no, that's not how it goes. Let's make a good movie with good actors, and then let's see how far this thing will go. There's a reason why like Grandma's Boy is a classic. There's a reason why
100%.
You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to have big name actors. You just have to have a good storyline. It doesn't have to be $1 million movie, but it's got to be entertaining, bro. It's got to
Yeah.
be,
100%.
A perfect example is we talked about scary movies earlier, but Paranormal Activity.
Oh yeah.
That's a great start of like something that became huge on like the smallest budget you could have.
Well, and
for
that,
that kind of
that's
level of movie.
arguable. Like, I mean, that's a beautiful thing about Hollywood too, is how much. I mean, the reason why I called it Illusion Islands is because it's all a fucking illusion. You're like a magician, man. Like, it's only what you don't know. So, like, what you just told me is you think Paranormal Activity was made for $15K. Like, I know certain people that know that once Spielberg saw the movie for $15K, they dumped another couple to
So they
$3
put
million into the budget.
promotion or
Well, I can't say
budget?
too much, but I know damn well it was not a $15K movie. And but the thing is, it's all about the fucking illusion. You
Yeah.
believe, the audience believes that it is.
True.
There's a movie that just came out.
True.
There's a movie that just came out. It's called Sketamarink or Sketamarink. What's that old saying? Sketamarink, or like, I forget. It just came out last winter, and that guy really made that movie for like $10,000, and it made it for like 10,000-15,000, and it made like 2 to 5 million in the box office. And it's just like Paranormal Activity was found footage, but that's definitely not the style of the Private Eye. The Private Eye is like a fucking Martin Scorsese, Tarantino, where it's like very cinematic. Like, I think the Private Eye to some will be it's like a film nerd movie where it will be boring to some, but then once you see the reveal, if you can last a reveal, it's the best movie you ever fucking
that's
watched.
what mysteries are about, bro.
And yeah, and
is
it's
the
the best,
suspense,
Fight
like,
Club, like it's the in the beginning you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then once you find out that the fucking guy is crazy, then you're like, damn, this is the best movie I've ever fucking seen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like
I'm stoked.
that's more what we're going for. But no, I totally know what you mean.
Yeah,
But I do know too much about Paranormal Activity, and it's just a great market. It's all
There's
about
a
the
reason
illusion.
I brought it up. There's
I'm
a reason.
glad you did.
Because when like the way they positioned the marketing, the way it all came out, when all the buzz was happening, it was
100%.
the South by Southwest type vibes. Like
Yeah.
we just saw it on we're just like a festival. That's all it was shown on. They're lucky they're
Yeah.
here type thing, and then it blows up.
And that's
Like,
part of it, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Definitely, like Jason Blum. Like, I mean, there's a lot of articles about because that's his first big movie, Jason Blumhouse.
bro.
you know what I mean?
Blumhouse,
and,
man,
and they're monsters.
They grab. And every
Yeah.
scary movie that nobody wants to produce, he's
Yeah.
like, I'll do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Bring it here, I'll make it.
No, and like there's a good balance you need to have. Like, like it's like, all right, like you do believe in the nobodies, and you're taking a lot of risk though. Like you lose a lot of money, but here's the thing: is you get one hit. It's done, dude. Like,
Right.
You did it. Like, Jason Wan, Insidious, that motherfucker's Aquaman 2's coming out. same time as Martin Scorsese. So like James Wan, he did it. Like I respect so many people. It's so hard to make movies, man. I hate criticizing. You never want to be a critic, and you'll never see like somebody who's doing better than you criticize like hardcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You there's something about taste. You know the difference between like between us, filmmaker wise. I come from Mike Nichols, so it's hard for me to watch Paranormal Activity, right? Like when you're like a film buff, that's into long shots and whatever, but you can still respect it. You know what I mean? Like, I respect Paranormal Activity like a motherfucker. They made a lot of people believe that was really happening at that moment. You know what I mean? And that's the fool. Like, that's like the genius and the illusion. So
that's that
I
Blair
respect
Witch Project.
That. Oh, dude, then they did it better than them. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what,
Blair
man?
Witch is first, but Paranormal Activity did it better. I
saw the Blair Witch Project the day it came out, and this was before like YouTube and like the internet was real big. Like,
it got you.
Bro, I was at the theater and I thought this was real found footage.
And that's the point.
And that was the scariest movie I've ever seen at that time. Like my feet were on the chair type shit. Yeah. And it's just a small blimp in time. We're never going to have that again.
You're never going to have that again, but it happens all the time. It's just going to be different, all right? Like, for example, the first time that I can think of that happened was War of the Worlds with Orson Welles. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, he actually was on the radio. He was a radio actor, and he's, like, talking about aliens taking over the world. Like, imagine being back in Orson Welles' times.
Right.
You think aliens are taking over fucking New York City right now. Like, that's the same thing that Blair Witch did. Everybody thought Blair Witch would do that, I've actually had a moment. So I was on YouTube. My wife was always Rose. She was always looking up like horror films and ghost videos on YouTube. And I'm like, this is fake. I know movies, you know what I mean? So if I see CG, I could tell you if it's CG. Like nowadays, still nowadays I could tell. Like, but at the time it was really bad. And I was like, man, all we need to do is make clickbait. So I was like, man, I'm gonna make I'm gonna call it Demon Child Possessed Kid or Possessed Kid Demon Child. I forget what I titled it as YouTube, and it was all about my son coming home from a Cub Scout camp out, and he's possessed, and I was like, I'm gonna make found footage, dude. Literally worked exactly like I said it would. Clickbait, boom, boom, got 1.3 million views. People started like doing videos on my video, like, oh, is this guy possessed? Like, I did it on my fucking cell phone. Like, that's the first time I revealed that. I'm sorry about that. I got all my subscribers on my YouTube channel are all for that too. They're all like horror ghost people. But and then
awesome.
we get two reviews. Like, one would be like, oh, this kid needs Jesus, or it would be, oh, this is the fakest shit in the world. Like, but like, you need to, how you deal with criticism is awesome, and you need to be able to be okay with, dealing with criticism. Right, but that it obviously worked out. I just wish I knew about monetization back then, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure, bro.
Dude, monetization. That is literally a game changer for so many artists. As soon as they figure out how they can make $1 on their music on a monetization front and make sure the videos, the fire that lights, it's when you don't understand that part of the industry that you have to climb up this hill and you basically push that boulder up, and every time you do something successful, you don't see anything from it. You just see a few views, and once you realize you get that other aspect of industry done, man, like, it just makes everything more fun because you can actually see the fruits of your labor, and everything you're putting into your time is actually, puts it into analytics, and then it comes into a dollar format, and then that's a snowball effect.
I can keep on doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, and
I'm doing the same thing. I just get better. That's awesome.
No,
like,
that's exactly what kept me going too. And the small wins are super important, even more important than the big wins. Like, like I wouldn't have I would do like local theater when I was in high school. I would do local theater and community plays. Like, I did this Rebels Are Coming in Glendale, and then did Macbeth for the school, and then. But after that, which was big, which people don't even realize, I got an agent at PCG. Give it up for PCG Talent Agency. God rest his soul. The agent actually that casted me, it was a guy named Peter, and he actually just passed away 2 weeks ago, sad to say. But he was with Ashley Talent in Sharonville, and he gave me my first shot. And then I booked my first big corporate video gig for Procter and Gamble.
Yeah.
And I was making $500 a day. I was like 16. I was like, fuck yeah, like this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then, but that gave me the opinion, like, oh, I can do community, I could do high school, and then I can do, corporate videos and commercial. I did a Kyocera commercial, and then I was like, man, I can make money at this, and then it keeps you going.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you see something.
And then you keep getting better too, man, because you're learning everything, and you're figuring out what works, what doesn't work, what they like, what they don't like. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
the whole hurry up and wait thing, man. Once you learn that, it's like you're valuable
Persistent
to
patience.
everybody.
Yeah, I like
Persistent
saying that. Yeah,
patience,
you
yeah.
got to be patient, but don't be waiting. Be
Yeah.
persistent.
That's great, bro. So if anyone wants to hear Hello Ladies music, is it still online? Because
Yeah, it's on Spotify, YouTube. It's Hello Lady. We've actually, one of the songs, Ecstasy, is in the Private Eye movie. Like
that's fire,
I'm
dude.
big on the score of the Private Eye is phenomenal, by the way.
we need soundtracks back.
We're making a vinyl record.
Hell yeah.
How long
So
do you
dope.
guys got right now?
We got however long you want. You need to use the restroom?
Yeah.
You want to wrap up?
Well, either that or we keep on talking and I use the restroom real quick.
We can
Sorry
go
to
ahead and
tell you
wrap
that.
up.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
tell me quick.
Yeah, man. So anyway, if anyone wants to check out a Hello Lady, they can check it out on Spotify.
Yep.
I can't wait for the soundtrack, bro, because soundtracks
Awesome.
need to come back. That was
Oh, yeah.
that was
We're
something
doing
that was
a
so
record.
big back in the day, man. Like back in the '90s when the movie came out. If it had a bomb ass soundtrack, you knew that the movie was going to be just as good.
And that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to create the movement. This movie's bigger than a movie. It's a movement. Like we got the music popping, the actors are popping. Other than acting, like the movie's great. It just cinematically, mystery, etc. Wise, the Private Eye. Everybody should go follow the Private Eye movie right now. Seriously.
Fuck yeah. All right, man. So all social media, it's the Private Eye. You got the movie poster coming out October 27th. Matt Rife is going to be here this Friday.
Yeah.
Not here. He'll be here at the Icon Theater.
He'll be at the Icon Theater. Sold out show.
Yes, sir. And I'll be here printing your shirts for about the next week or so.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
October,
sir.
and I'll see you October 27th
Yes,
for
sir.
the poster and shirt reveal, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we
we'll,
will be
we'll
there.
Definitely be there,
That's
bro.
what I'm talking about.
Let's get it.
All
I'm
right, man.
stoked.
Dude, I appreciate you, man. I love you. I feel like I've known you for years already, bro.
Ditto.
That's how I feel.
And,
Ditto.
and
It's
I
great.
can't wait to see where you are in 10 years, bro. Because if this
Let's
is
go.
where you're starting, get out of here. Let's
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
go. All right,
All
y'all.
right.
All right, man. This is
Appreciate
going to
you.
wrap
Thank
up
you.
another episode of the PowWow. I appreciate you
Yay.
for coming through.
Ski.
Yes, sir. Liquid Death, Duffified,
Rock and roll.
and One Heart Medical. Appreciate you for sponsoring the podcast. If you guys want to be a part of it, comment below. Get a hold of AI. We can make it happen.
Shout out to my rest in peace, my dog Howard.
Oh man, yeah, bro.
It's at the end of the pod, but that's all right. It's all. It's a long story. There's a mystery there too. So he actually yes, he went missing, but in a weird circumstance. He is no longer with us. I can assure.
Yeah,
I can
you're
assure you.
gonna have to.
It's a whole nother topic. It's another time. But rest in peace, my dude. And you made the halo in the background on my phone now. So
Yes,
love you,
sir.
dude. Appreciate
All right,
y'all
everybody.
for tuning in, though.
Thank you.
Yes.
The Private Eye.
Private Eye.
Jack
Hey,
Cook in the building.
Appreciate you, dude.
My man.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All love. Let's get
We'll
it.
see you next week on
Later.
another episode of the PowWow.
Yes, sir. Later.
We're out of here.
Bye.
Hey.
Yeah. Let's go.
Bam, bam, bam.